the focus of a federal investigation. She plans to officially announce her campaign Sunday. Brown previously ran for mayor in 2007. She lost, of course, in a landslide to then Mayor Richard M. Daley. Meantime, 22-year-old community activist Jamal Green has filed paperwork to form his political committee. Green made headlines as a member of Black Lives Matter in Chicago when he was arrested during a police protest at the Taste of Chicago in 2016. State authorities continue investigating the death of a 7-month-old girl from Hazel Crest. Earlier this week, the girl was hospitalized. She died on Monday afternoon. DCFS is looking into allegations of neglect in correlation with her death. A new report from the State Board of Education says the overhaul of the Chicago Public Schools special ed programming created many more problems than it solved. The report says the 2016 changes led to delays and denial of service to students. The death of a West Side man who tried to hang himself in a Chicago police lockup 2 years ago will complicate his family lawsuit against the city. 24-year-old Tyler Lamar died Wednesday at a Des Plaines nursing home where he lived since suffering serious brain injuries during a suicide attempt at the Harrison District Station on the west side. Teachers and professors at Western Illinois University could walk out of their classrooms before the end of the month, right before finals. The union that represents faculty members at the school yesterday said they've approved an authorization to go on strike. Faculty members want a new contract. They've been talking about a new deal since 2016. The parent company of Carson Pirie Scott Stores is confirming industry rumors that it is closing all of its department stores by late summer, ending more than 160 years of continuous operation. 22 Carson stores in Chicago will be shutting their doors. In its heyday, Carson Pirie Scott's Louis Sullivan Design flagship store stood with Marshall Fields, Sears, Montgomery Ward's, Lightens, and Wiebolt along Chicago's bustling State Street retail corridor. Cubs jump out to a 6-1 lead in the second and hold on for an 8-5 win over the Cardinals. After an off day, the White Sox are back home tonight, hosting the world champion Astros in the first of three. White Sox say hello to outfielder Trace Thompson and goodbye to infielder Tyler Saladino. Sox acquired Thompson, who they formerly owned, in the form of cash, and Chicago also traded Saladino to the Brewers for cash considerations. Bears open up the regular season on Sunday Night Football, September 9, at Green Bay. The news, a service of La Quinta Inns and Suites. How do business travelers win on the road? By staying at La Quinta Inns and Suites. Relax with contemporary lobby makeovers and stylish room designs. Prepare to win at business. Book now at lq.com. 5:07. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The best conversations happen with a cigar in one hand and a fine drink in the other. Join Larry Elder live in Chicago for Cigar Night, presented by Precision Payroll of America on Thursday, May 17th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. Larry will be joined by AM 560's Dan Proft for an evening of cigar smoking and good conversation. Tickets start at $29 and include a cigar. Get your tickets at 560theanswer.com/cigar. Sponsored by Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, and by the Elmhurst Cigar House.
Spearfishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearfishing can't be stopped by traditional email security solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spearfishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560, The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
It is 5:10 on AM 560. Time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And time to check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Good Friday morning, Mike. On the inbound Eisenhower, we have road work delays. Overnight work is clearing in the downtown area. It's stop and go from Ogden Avenue to the Burns Circle. It's 35 minutes from 390 to downtown, and it's about 19 from Mannheim. Now, the ramp to the outbound Ryan from the inbound Ike has just reopened. Same goes for the ramp from the outbound Eisenhower to the outbound Ryan. Now, a little bit north of there, Ohio Street is down to 2 lanes between Wabash and Rush. So this is expected to last through the Friday morning rush. So this could affect traffic coming into downtown throughout the morning. We'll keep an eye on that. Reagan Tollway westbound from the Eisenhower to York Road, traffic is slow as overnight road work there's a bit late in clearing. Traffic service for Shell. Get the feeling of being rewarded with gold status at Shell. Start saving on your very first fill and continue to save on every fill every day. Download the Fuel Rewards app, join and start saving today. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
The news on Chicago's Morning Answer is a service of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. Dan and Amy start next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly sunny, high 57. Tonight, chilly with patchy clouds, low 37. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun, high 54. Then a cloudy night, low 39. Clouds and sun Sunday, high 58. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
37 at O'Hare, 35 along the lakefront, 28 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We've got a new candidate in the Illinois governor's race as of yesterday morning, as you heard first reported on this show last week. State Senator Sam McCann from southern Illinois, Macoupin County, so kind of down by St. Louis, runs the Senate District east to Springfield, announced that he is running as an independent for governor. Even he has left the Republican caucus in the Senate. He sort of kind of left the Republican caucus when he started voting the public sector unions policy agenda, but formally left it after announcing his candidacy yesterday through video. And by the way, we're going to have him at the top of the 7 o'clock hour, but your reactions to the prospect of a Sam McCann independent candidacy.
I don't even know who he. I mean, I'm looking forward to meeting him. But all right, 312-642-5600. Sam McCann. Just the fact that he could possibly bump out Governor Rauner.
Nobody knew who Dan Biss was. Nobody, knew who Jeannie Ives was.
True.
When you start, because you're one, in his case, of 59 state legislators. The question is, are you looking for somebody other than Rauner and Pritzker, looking for a safe place to land? That's what Sam McCann's betting on.
They have failed us. Rauner and Chicago Democrats have led our state down the wrong path. Higher taxes, backward morals, and disregard for the rule of law is the Illinois they've created. It's time for a real transformation for the state of Illinois. I'm Sam McCann, and I'm running for governor to put Illinois on a path of prosperity and promise. As conservatives, we know and believe that you can't spend money you don't have, and that opportunity should exist for everyone, not just a chosen few. I'm running to restore what real, hardworking Illinoisans value the most: liberty, family values, and law and order. Our economic liberty has been diminished by Rauner's surrender to Chicago Democrats. We get higher taxes and utility bills, and they get kickbacks for their cronies. As your governor, I will work with the General Assembly to repeal Rauner's tax increase, reduce property taxes for hardworking families, and fight special interests that take money out of your pocket. Rauner's failure of leadership has led to the progressives' dream of having a state that attacks our religious liberty and allows taxpayer-funded abortion on demand. That failure of leadership has also included a war on the working class. Rauner and his brand of Republicans want to drag hardworking women and men back down the economic ladder so they and their cronies can pocket the profits.
So it's really interesting, his market positioning here as presented in that announcement video. So it's very Rauner-focused. Mm-hmm. He mentioned Chicago Democrats and Rauner. He talks about morals. So he's talking about social conservatism. Sam McCann is a social conservative. Talks about the rule of law. What's he referencing there? Sanctuary state.
Sanctuary state. Yep.
As conservatives, he presents. As conservatives, we believe this and we believe that. And then towards the last part of the portion that we played, you hear him talking about Rauner and his brand of Republicans and working class families. That's his, essentially outreach to union families, trades, but also public sector unions. And so here's the thing that's complicating about McCann is he is a social conservative. You heard him talk about wanting to repeal the Rauner-Madigan tax increase, and I think that's properly titled. But you won't hear him talk so much about throwing in with the public sector unions when it came to voting to remove collective bargaining rights from the governor vis-a-vis AFSCME, the state's largest public sector union, for state workers, and his opposition to right to work. Now, you may agree or disagree with those positions. That the complicating thing is Sam McCann a safe place to land for conservatives who are not happy with Rauner's betrayals?
You mean the progressive Rauner?
In some,
that's what we call him.
In some
aspects, yes.
I call him former Governor Rauner.
Oh, yeah.
But it is interesting because he's going to come across, if he can survive the scrutiny, and he's got a lot of proof up, but he's going to come across as a regular Joe from Southern Illinois, from downstate. He is the non-billionaire. Look how far Dan Biss got in the Democrat primary with his moniker middle-class candidate.
Right.
So
I'm the alternative. I'm like you. I'm not a billionaire.
It
works. But you know what catapulted his candidacy is if Jeannie Ives got behind him. And if Jeannie Ives had her supporters support him.
Possibly. I mean, that would certainly help. I don't know that that's going to happen. But there is this opportunity, if he can put together the financing, to shoot the gap, right, to run up the middle and pull some middle-income folks on the Democrat side that voted for a candidate like Dan Biss over to his side because of his position on union issues, while also making it a safe place for social conservatives who otherwise are going to skip the race or don't feel comfortable voting for Rauner. I mean, This reminds me of the 2006 governor's race where it was Blagojevich and Topinka. Blagojevich under investigation, running for a second term. Judy Bart Topinka, sort of a live wire, to be generous.
Oh, she was spunky.
Yeah, she was a
That's
hot
the word
mess.
for her.
Yeah. And Blagojevich spent all that money. Remember the commercials, Judy Bart Topinka dancing with George Ryan?
Yeah.
So that kind of tubed her. But you had Rich Whitney, the third-party candidate, the Green Party candidate.
I remember him.
And because Topinka and Blagojevich were so unpopular, you had Whitney get like 11% of the vote. And he didn't really change the outcome. He just reduced the vote totals for both Blagojevich and Topinka.
Judy, yeah.
I don't think he changed the spread that much. I think that's probably the best case scenario for Rauner with the McCann candidacy. The worst case scenario is if McCann really focuses almost exclusively on Rauner, and it's just about, well, if I catch fire and shoot the gap, great. But what this is really about is trying to take down Rauner. So I'm focused on 80% of my vote coming right out of Rauner's hide. So we'll have to see how that plays out. By the way, on the Rich Whitney thing,
Yeah.
Here's how despised Blagojevich and Topinka were. Even in the counties where Rich Whitney's name was misprinted on the ballot, Rich Whitey,
That's right.
it did not affect his vote total.
No.
Remember Rich Whitey?
Yeah, Rich Whitey, yeah.
And the famous response was, I thought Rich Whitey was Jim Oberweis.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And the governor's race isn't the only race where new candidates have entered. Now there are 7 people challenging Mayor Emanuel. We'll tell you who the latest is. But first, here's your forecast. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 58 degrees. There you go. And your weekend looks like this. Saturday, clouds and sun, a high of 54. Clouds and sun on Sunday, a high of 57. And we'll hit 60s early next week. Now let's get into the alarm detection systems. Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Happy Friday. Inbound Eisenhower. Traffic is at a standstill right now from Damon to Ashland. Got a rollover crash at Ashland. 2 right lanes are blocked, and traffic starting to back up in that area. The outbound side is clear. There was road work downtown affecting the Eisenhower ramps to the outbound Ryan. That has all lifted. Edens and Kennedy look good. There is road work this morning on Ohio Street between Rush Street and Wabash, so pretty well east of Kennedy, but this could affect things in the downtown area and River North this morning. Stevenson still okay. Inbound Ryan, a little tight. Roosevelt to the Circle. Bishop Ford just a little heavy. Cottage Grove to the merge. On the Reagan Tollway westbound, traffic slows through the work zone from the Eisenhower to York. Some overnight construction still clearing. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you own a business, you'll do everything you can to keep the lights on. The thing is, keeping those lights on can be much more cost-effective than you ever imagined. And Twin Supplies can help. Twin Supplies specializes in helping businesses, public entities, and nonprofits get energy efficient with their lighting and take advantage of incentives from utility companies to help with energy improvement costs. From restaurants to schools, churches, and stadiums, they'll walk you through every step to realize maximum money savings and energy efficiency. Your maintenance staff will spend less time changing bulbs with worry-free fixtures that feature up to a 10-year warranty. Plus, the quality of your lighting will improve, resulting in improved working conditions and safety. Find out how much your commercial business can save with a free energy audit from Twin Supplies. Utility companies change their incentives frequently and funds can run out. Now is the time to take action. Don't wait. Call 630-590-5138 or log on to twinsupplies.net and take charge of your business's energy efficiency. Twinsupplies.net.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
Hey, Craig and Leslie here from In the Know. A great ball player doesn't just hit home runs. He puts the ball in play or gets on base every time he can. And that's what we want to do for you, so that you can be ready for your postseason play, your retirement.
That's why our whole team at Wealth Management Group has their game face on and is ready to help you.
Step up to the plate and make Wealth Management Group part of your financial force.
Start at investwithwmg.com and tune in each week to In the Know Sunday mornings at 10 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
Hey, we know replacing your roof is a big deal and a big decision. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
We would love to do your roof. Why choose Crumweedy to do your roof or roof repairs?
It's all about installation. Our guys are pros. When we install your roof, you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that's up to manufacturer specifications, so your warranty is intact. You'll be happy.
Cost. We give you a good, better, best option. You choose. No high pressure.
We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you.
We do business the right way. We have a special offer that includes free gutters with a new roof. Ask about it. When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
Deb, I'm so done with today. Traffic was awful. I couldn't stop for coffee. I have conference calls all morning, plus all these reports to go through. And look, it's 75 and sunny, and I'm stuck in here.
Relax. It's going to be an awesome day. Corporate is throwing a picnic in the parking lot for lunch, and they ordered Tasty Catering.
What? Did I miss the memo?
Apparently. It's going to be great. They got burgers, grilled chicken, sides, the works. You know, Tasty Catering's picnic food is excellent.
Oh, yeah, I know. We had them for our holiday party.
Today, they're bringing out the Make Your Own Burger Creation Station. They have everything you can think of, like sriracha, blue cheese crumbles, bacon, sautéed mushrooms, and caramelized onions. And they serve it straight off the grill, the way a great burger should be.
Okay, maybe there's still hope for today. I just hope I don't spill mustard on this new tie. Good thing I've got my bib.
You have a bib?
You don't?
Tasty Catering's picnic menu has all the delicious summertime food favorites you crave and more. Go to tastycatering.com to peruse mouth-watering picnic menus and start planning your picnic today. tastycatering.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Did you hear the big local news yesterday? Downtown Dorothy Brown has decided to run for mayor. She wants to be our next mayor of Chicago. So now there's 7 candidates challenging Mayor Emanuel. And Walter Burnett, who's supporting Mayor Emanuel, thinks he knows why Dorothy Brown, who, by the way, is under federal investigation and has been for the past 5 years, why she wants to run for mayor.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone's paying or someone's encouraging all these folks to run just to get on the ballot to see if they can try and split the votes. If we're the benefactor of any of these people running against them, hallelujah. I think it's a good thing. But I think, he's going to be hard to beat. I mean, he's going to have a campaign call for out of this world.
Mm-hmm. So Emanuel's untouchable, according to Walter Burnett.
I don't even. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone's paying people to get on the ballot to split the vote, says a Rahm Emanuel supporter.
Uh-huh.
So are you saying? I
just can't believe that this is happening in Chicago.
I'm sure nobody followed up with this obvious question. So Alder Burnett, wheelman in a bank robbery. Are you Are you saying that Rahm Emanuel is paying people to run for mayor to split the vote, and he's financing them getting on the ballot? Is that what you're saying?
He's saying somebody's paying these candidates. Who's paying these candidates to get on the ballot? Who's the money man behind it all? If people are getting paid, I mean, now we have Paul Vallis running, we have Gary McCarthy running, we have Dorothy Brown running, and the list goes on and on. Who's paying them to get on the ballot? Who's funding their campaigns?
Okay. Why is Walter Burnett saying, I wouldn't be surprised if people are paying candidates like Dorothy Brown to get on the ballot? He's flacking for Rahm Emanuel. Why would who is the obvious person that would be doing that? Rahm Emanuel? I mean, obviously Rahm Emanuel's not paying to get Paul Vallis on the ballot. He's not paying to get Gary McCarthy on the ballot because they present threats. But what he doesn't want is an African-American candidate in a runoff. So if he's got Lori Lightfoot in the race, then is he financing Dorothy Brown, who, as you pointed out, is cash and carry? She is priced to sell, which is why she's been I don't know, when is the indictment of Dorothy Brown coming?
I don't know.
Honestly.
It's been going on for 5 years.
5 years. It's been going on for 15 years.
15, well,
she's going to bring the same turnaround skills that she brought to the clerk of the circuit. I mean, give me Dorothy
everybody
Brown.
can wear jeans on Friday if she becomes mayor. Del Marie Cobb is her spokesperson, and she says Dorothy Brown means business.
Her base of support is really the church and grassroots support. I mean, she is everywhere all the time, 24/7, 365 days out the year.
Got that? She is everywhere all of the time. Oh, Mike Scott wants to say something.
This state and city are so fracked, and just when you think it can't get more fracked,
it gets
Dorothy Brown announces for mayor.
Say that again, how you explained why the split the vote strategy. It's really important. People need to know why Rahm Emanuel may be, we don't know, maybe wanting another African-American candidate in the race. Say that again. It's really important.
Well, I should defer my time to Walter Burnett. He's telling everybody,
and we're surmising, but this is the conceit.
If he's done in the black community, he knows it.
Right.
He's got to make a play in the Latino community. He doesn't want to face a minority in the runoff, and he's going to be pushed into a runoff. He already knows that.
Yep.
So now it's to make sure it's not Lori. I think it's actually to make sure it's not Lori Lightfoot. It's not a credible African American candidate who could beat him. Lori Lightfoot, who is way left, so I'm not in. It's not like I'm supporting her, but she would beat Rahm Emanuel, I believe, in a runoff.
Really?
And so you can't let Lori Lightfoot
go unchallenged.
Right. You can't let her kind of slowly, methodically climb the ladder over the next 8 months and put herself in second position. So, one of these people, maybe even in first position. Rahm Emanuel may be struggling to get to second if the poll numbers that have been reported are anywhere close to accurate.
Well, we also have Willie Wilson and Troy LaRaviere who are running. Those are other African Americans.
Yeah, I mean, and they'll, take their portions, particularly Willie, if he spends his own money. LaRaviere, I don't know how he raises his profile, where his support comes from, but possibly. But that's absolutely what you want to do. I mean, that's the whole funny thing about this. The Democrats want the balkanization. The same people that minority families think are representing their interests, they're trying to carve you apart to feed their interests. You are in the way of Tiny Dancer's interests, black families in Chicago. Do you not get that? It's remarkable, Walter Burnett.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
No, Comey memos. We get to see him now, too. Yay.
At first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
35 degrees. Skies are clear, and those Comey memos, according to President Trump, clear him of any wrongdoing. Congressional Republicans received the former FBI director's memos yesterday. They were soon leaked to the news media. Comey wrote in those memos that he told the president he was not a target of the FBI's investigation into possible cooperation between the Trump campaign and any Russian interference. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is joining the Trump legal defense team in the ongoing Russian interference investigation. The former federal prosecutor and mayor of New York has been a close Trump ally for years. 2 North Florida deputies are dead after a man shot them while they were eating lunch yesterday.
I don't have answers to why this happened. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement will conclude and conduct their investigation at a time that they feel fit to release information.
Gilchrist County Sheriff Bobby Schultz. Students across the country are planning to join another National Walkout Day today. Organizers say it's a way to protest gun violence, marking the 19th anniversary of the deadly shooting at Columbine High School. A Minnesota county attorney says the death of music icon Prince 2 years ago is a tragic example that opioid addiction and overdose deaths do not discriminate.
We're in the middle of an unprecedented and horrific epidemic of opioid overdoses in this country.
Carver County Attorney Mark Metz announcing there's no reliable evidence surrounding the death to charge anyone criminally. Police are looking for a driver involved in a deadly hit and run on Chicago's north side. Cook County Circuit Court Clerk Dorothy Brown running for mayor of Chicago, despite being the focus of a federal investigation for the last 5 years. And a new report from the State Board of Education says the overhaul of the Chicago Public Schools special education programming created many more problems than it solved. Cubs jump out early and hold on for an 8-5 win over the Cardinals. After an off day, the White Sox are back home tonight. The Bears will open the regular NFL football season on Sunday Night Football, September 9th. The news service of Shell. Get the feeling of being rewarded with gold status at Shell with the Fuel Rewards program. Start saving on your very first fill and continue to save on every fill every day. Download the Fuel Rewards app, join, and start saving today. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher isn't going to get pushed around.
There's so much ugliness out there, and I admit I kind of contributed to it yesterday. Now, you know me. Somebody calls me and acts like a jerk to me, like a few of you did yesterday. I'm not going to just roll over because I didn't like the way the tone went with some of our callers.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Print up to 1,000 photos on your phone for free with Free Prints. Download the app and choose photos on your phone or on social media. Prints arrive in just days. Download it now at freeprints.com.
People have long associated the Ozinga name with concrete, but truth be told, Ozinga has always been on a quest to create a better world. We want to help you build your business so you can provide for your family, create better jobs, and build your community. It's why we constantly engineer better concrete, haul raw materials, and supply cleaner fuel. Together, we can positively impact the places where we live, work, and play throughout the Chicagoland area. To learn more, go to ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
So, you're a truck driver, a clutch cowboy, a wrangler of the road. At Ozinga, you are exactly who we need. Concrete truck drivers. People who aren't afraid of a little adventure and hard work. If you're tired of monotony and are looking to build something that matters, then come build with us. At Ozinga, we are building our families, our communities, and our country. Apply online today at ozinga.com. That's OZINGA.com.
5:36. Let's get an update on the morning ride to work. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Eisenhower, traffic is slow first from 17th Avenue to 1st Avenue, and then it is Stop and Go California to Ashland. There was a rollover crash at Ashland, cleared now. Looking at about 39 minutes from 390 to downtown, outbound 30. The Edens, the Kennedy remain fine. Down Stevenson, right central to Pulaski, that's about a 3-minute delay. Inbound Ryan, got a 5-minute delay from the Stevenson into the Circle. Bishop Ford, about a 3-minute delay, 103rd to the Merge. Tollways look pretty good. There was some road work on the westbound Reagan Tollway coming off the Eisenhower in the ongoing construction zone. The overnight work's gone, so traffic's moving well there now. Traffic service of La Quinta Inns and Suites. How do business travelers win on the road? By staying at La Quinta Inns and Suites. Relax with contemporary lobby makeovers and stylish room designs. Prepare to win at business. Book now at LQ.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, sunny and 58 today. Patchy clouds and 36 overnight. Currently 37, O'Hare 35 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Lou Bridges Show. Get foreclosure defense solutions that may save your home. Saturday mornings at 8 on AM 560, The Answer.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Rudy's joining Trump's legal team.
Yeah, Rudy
Not
Giuliani.
Rutger, but yeah.
He's looking for a way that they can get out of or end this Russian investigation.
Well, I don't know why
The
they need to
sham.
end it. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein reportedly told President Trump last week that the president isn't a target of any part of Special Counsel Bob Mueller's investigation or the probe into his longtime lawyer, Michael Cohen. Well, then what the hell are we doing?
Why are we spinning our wheels over here? 312-642-5600, Turnkey Depot answer line.
And apparently after the meeting, again, this is Bloomberg reporting, Trump told some of his closest advisors that it's not the right time to remove either man, meaning Rosenstein or Mueller, since he's not the target of the probes. Yeah, we went through this before, a good piece in the Federalist last week from a former federal prosecutor. A subject versus target, it's a rhetorical distinction without a difference. We'll talk to Andy McCarthy about this at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. He was a former federal prosecutor, of course, himself. But his position from the beginning, McCarthy's and others, including mine, this has always been about Trump, and it's always been about impeachment. This isn't a Russian collusion investigation. It's trying to fashion a case to impeach President Trump. So I'm skeptical of either the reporting on this Rosenstein-Trump conversation. If the reporting is accurate, then I'm skeptical of Rosenstein's motives. But I'm certainly skeptical that there's any truth to the notion that Trump is a wholly irrelevant person in both the Michael Cohen investigation as well as the Mueller investigation. This has sort of been kind of underappreciated for how incredible a statement that is. And I know what you're saying. Dan, we want to hear more James Comey.
Dan, you know what? Instead of we need more cowbell, we need more Comey.
Yeah, we do need a little more Comey.
It's not enough. I mean, I've seen him more than my mother in the past few days, and I've heard about everything I could hear, I think.
Now, just one predicate
Caveat?
to this.
Yeah, or predicate, yes.
Jim Comey doesn't like this attention.
Well, no, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't want it.
He's not
He
seeking
hates
this.
being in the
He
limelight.
does not like this attention. So just before you get too frustrated or exasperated by having to hear yet another Jim Comey interview, just remember the pain he is enduring to do this, for you. His higher loyalty forces him to do these very difficult things. So he sat down with Jake Tapper yesterday.
Before sitting down with Rachel Maddow.
Yeah. Nice.
Jake Tapper was a little more intriguing of an interview.
Right. She's a tougher dude. There's no question. Jim Comey on his buddy Andy McCabe.
What did you think of James Comey?
Oh,
that's good.
You express a lot of horror in the book when public officials or even celebrities lie to investigators, whether David Petraeus or Scooter Libby,
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
So I would assume that you would be upset at Andrew McCabe. I haven't really heard you criticize him the same way you've criticized those others.
Well, I hope I didn't criticize them personally. I think it's very important.
No, the act, though.
Oh, sure. The act is one I take very seriously, and so does the Department of Justice. What's going on so far has been the accountability mechanisms of the department working, because it's a department that's committed to the truth, and so it's working. I don't know whether there's a criminal referral, what will happen, but that's part of accountability and examination of what the consequences should be if there was material lying.
But how do you feel about your former deputy, according to the Inspector General, lying to you, lying to investigators for a leak that the Inspector General said was only motivated to preserve his own reputation, having nothing to do with the FBI or the public's right to know?
Yeah, conflicted. I like him very much as a person, but sometimes even good people do things they shouldn't do. I've read the report. I'm not the judge in the case. I'm not the discipline decision maker in the case. I think it is accountability mechanisms working, and they should work, because it's not acceptable in the FBI or the Justice Department for people to lack candor. It's something we take really seriously.
Could you be any more insufferable? We're asking you about McCabe's lying in that 35-page report, documented in that 35-page report you said you read. And you had no problem passing judgment on your buddy Andy McCabe when you were talking about him to the president, according to your own memos.
Which were released early this morning.
Right. Yeah. McComey defending Mr. McCabe as a true pro, telling the president that he would come to agree. Well, he didn't come to that agreement, and now nobody would come to that agreement except perhaps Jim Comey. But those process answers to a values question, to a guy who speaks incessantly about his values, his entire book is about his values, right?
Right.
But he won't pass judgment on good old Andy, who's a true pro.
No, repeatedly he supported Andy McCabe in this memo that was released. It's 15 pages, 7 different conversations that Comey had with President Trump over the last year. And the only thing that I found in there that is not in his book, that I haven't heard about a million times, yeah, enough with the golden showers, I got that. Apparently, Putin told President Trump that they have really hot hookers in Russia. Big deal. What I learned was that at one point in time, President Trump asked him about possibly jailing journalists to make them talk. On page 10, he said, President, we wrapped up our conversation by returning to the issue of finding leakers. I said something about the value of putting a head on a pike as a message. He replied by saying it may involve putting reporters in jail. They spend a couple days in jail, make a new friend, and then they're ready to talk. Comey recounted the president saying, I laughed as I walked to the door that Reince Priebus had opened. But one person that comment is not sitting well with is a man named Brian Kareem. Do you know him? He was the White House correspondent for Playboy magazine, and he was incarcerated because he didn't leak a story. He didn't give up his sources on a police officer that was killed in Texas. So he was very upset this morning.
And let me tell you something. I love Judy. Judy's a friend of mine. She's a member of the First Jailbirds Club, of which I'm a member. There's about 14 of us who've gone to jail for the First Amendment. I'm one of them. And Mr. President, no, you don't put me in jail for a couple of days and I talk. That's not the way it works. In fact, I won't talk, and that's the way it works.
Right.
Okay, whoever
Got
you
it.
are. Yeah.
Brian Kareem?
Yeah.
You don't know?
Yeah, whoever you are. Right. Yeah, okay, whatever. So then the left is going to recast their understanding of Patrick Fitzgerald, who jailed Judith Miller over sources. Are we going to hear that? Or is are the great defenders of the Fourth Estate and their First Amendment protection not so interested when it's James Rosen who's being attacked by Eric Holder in President Obama's Justice Department, or Patrick Fitzgerald as a special prosecutor going after Judith Miller? Now they care, but they don't care when it's a different president, a different Justice Department, and non-journalistic allies. Yawn. I mean, I don't agree with the idea of using the threat of jail to squeeze reporters, and I don't care who is making that. But it's just, these guys now with their preening, give me a break.
And besides that, there's nothing really new, except that a few times Priebus and Jared Kushner, every time they'd see Comey, they'd ask about the Hillary email investigation. But that's not big news. So what?
Well, it's not supposed to be big news. It's supposed to be, and by the way, members of Congress are going to see unredacted versions of these Comey memos today. It's supposed to go to what's not in here. Mm-hmm. and this is why Trey Gowdy wanted these released for everybody to see. If Jim Comey can talk about him, then why? Then there's obviously not. Why can't we see him? The issue here, and this was outlined in a statement issued from the three House Republican committee chairmen that are relevant to all of this: Goodlatte, Judiciary, Nunes, Intelligence, Gowdy, Oversight, saying that McComey went to great lengths to set dining room scenes, discuss height requirements, describe the multiple times he felt complimented, and myriad other extraneous facts. He never once mentioned the most relevant fact of all, which was whether he felt obstructed in his investigation. The documents, the memos, they say, show Comey was, quote, blind with biases, unquote, and demonstrated bad judgment. All of these musings. It's so interesting what Comey never reflected upon in writing, whether in memos or even after all this time, his tome that he's hawking around the country. Dave and Ray Sr. on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. I'm just wondering, as long as we're talking about values, will James Comey renounce his wife's obvious anti-Semitism for appearing at those women's marches, which were, of course, sponsored by a group of anti-Semite, anti-Israeli individuals?
Oh, like Linda Sarsour. Yeah, thanks for the call, Dave. One bit of news, speaking in this general topic area, Andy McCabe.
Oh, yeah.
The Justice Department's Inspector General report that Comey kind of bores you to death with talking about it in the process. The substance of it, well, that's being referred to a U.S. Attorney's Office for possible criminal prosecution of Andy McCabe. And wouldn't that be a fine coming to pass and restore some confidence that the rule of law actually applies to the law enforcers?
Well, Jake Tapper, that information broke while Comey was on the set with him, and he said, you could potentially be a witness.
Regarding your former deputy, Andrew McCabe, they did this after releasing a report concluding McCabe repeatedly lied to investigators and to you about a leak to the Wall Street Journal in which he confirmed, or he had people leak to the Wall Street Journal, confirming the existence of an investigation into the Clinton Foundation. If they ultimately bring a case against Andrew McCabe, will you be a witness for the prosecution?
Potentially. I don't know whether the reporting is accurate. I know it's CNN reporting, but I don't know it of my own accord. But sure, given that the IG's report reflects interactions that Andy McCabe had with me and other FBI senior executives, I could well be a witness.
Yeah.
Although that'd be interesting.
The one thing Comey is right about is to be skeptical of CNN reporting.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Songs have been written about it. Wars have been fought over it. And just holding it in the palm of your hands is magnificent. Silver and gold have been bartered, bought, and sold for centuries. And now is the time for you to invest in one of the most recognized financial assets and ensure your portfolio is guarded against inflation and a declining dollar. For such an exclusive opportunity and investment, put your trust in Kedzie Coins. Kedzie Coins is an accredited precious metals dealer member with family roots in the heart of Chicago. And as members of the Professional Numismatics Guild, they are committed to the strictest standards of excellence and ethics. With one of the largest selections of gold and silver bullion minted in the U.S., Kedzie Coins is your destination to buy American. Visit one of their 3 locations, Kedzie Coins and Jewelry on 59th and Kedzie in Chicago, What a Gem Jewelry and Coins in Berwyn, or the flagship store, Broadway Jewelry and Rare Coins in Bradley, just north of Kankakee. For questions or to set up an appointment, call 773-436-0777.
Americans' every tax bracket got a tax cut thanks to the tax bill signed into law last year, which means you've got more money to spend on what's important to you. Democrats in Congress who voted against the tax cuts are promising to raise their taxes if they win in November. They want your money back to spend on their priorities. Only you can stop them. To find out how much more money you'll be bringing home, go to taxcutswork.com. There's an easy-to-use calculator that tells you how much money the new tax cuts are saving you this year and next. Check your savings at taxcutswork.com. Then sign a letter to Congress telling them to keep their grubby hands off your tax cut savings. The Tax Cuts Work Tour is coming to Fauna International at 1900 Averill Road in Geneva on Sunday, April 29th at 2 p.m. Meet small business owners, elected officials, the folks from Job Creators Network, to hear how the tax cuts are working and to share your story as well. That's Fauna International in Geneva on Sunday, April 29th at 2 p.m. Learn more at taxcutswork.com.
Hey everyone, Ken here from the award-winning company Income Store. If you were lost and scared in a forest, would you rather have a guide map or a guide standing next to you? Both will lead you out of the forest, one's just a bit more expeditious. When it comes to making more money, have you ever felt lost? Does it drive you a little batty when you know there's people out there, teenagers even, that are adding a different revenue stream, even in different industries, each and every year of their lives? Don't you know deep down there has to be a path out of what we call the financial forest? You know it's there, you just haven't found it yet. For almost a decade now, Income Store has provided guide maps to the do-it-yourselfers, the folks that have considerably more time than money, but they've also been the trusted guide to those with more money than time. If you're ready to stop bouncing around this thing we call the financial forest and serious about adding a second, third, or even fourth revenue model to your home or business, then you have to check out the 5-timing 5,000 Income Store. That's IncomeStore.com.
I'm Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Game show idea. Comey, Corey, or Christian. I'm going to read a series of passages, and you tell me which was said or written by former FBI Director Jim Comey, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, or 50 Shades of Grey protagonist Christian Grey. Let's begin. I want you to know that nothing has happened in the last year to change my view. Boy, those were the words I needed to hear. I know. And the East Coast loves you, and by the East Coast, I mean me. Do you think gay sex is a perversion? We lie there, panting together, waiting for our breathing to slow. He gently strokes my hair. Boy, I survived. That wasn't so bad. He was not going to get a hug without being a whole lot stronger than he looked. He wasn't. He holds out his hand, and in his palm are 2 shiny silver balls linked with a thick black thread. As he extended his hand, I made a mental note to check its size. It was smaller than mine, but did not seem unusually so. Look out, E.L. James. Jim Comey and Cory Booker are coming for you.
Protect your firearms and valuables with the best money can buy. A Liberty Safe from Maxson Shooter's Supplies and the new LibertySafeChicago.com. Maxson stocks the complete line of Liberty Safes and accessories. You can also customize, configure, and order online at LibertySafeChicago.com. Pick it up at Maxson or have it delivered and professionally installed. Right now, Liberty is offering 0% financing for qualified customers. And during April, you can purchase a Liberty Floor Safe from Maxson at up to $500 off. Owning a Liberty Safe has never been so easy. For over 25 years, millions of American homes have trusted their 100% made in the U.S. Liberty Safes to protect their guns, keep them out of reach of children, and protect their valuables from theft and fire. Liberty stands behind every safe with a lifetime warranty. If anyone tries to break into your Liberty Safe, they'll repair or replace it for free. Choose your Liberty Safe in person at Maxson Shooters Supplies in Des Plaines or shop online at LibertySafeChicago.com.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants. And that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
If you ever want to buy a house or a car, you're going to want to know your credit score. If there's a mistake on your credit reports, you could pay more in interest rates and fees than you have to. Where can you go online to quickly get your credit score and credit report for free? CreditKarma.com/radio. Check it whenever you like. It's free and there's no catch. Don't get an unwanted surprise about your credit score. Go to CreditKarma.com/radio. That's CreditKarma.com/radio.
It is 5:57. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Eisenhower has delays from 17th to Harlem and from Kedzie to the Burns Circle. An earlier crash at Ashland cleared. It's 41 minutes from 390 to downtown, outbound 30. The 8 is fine. Inbound Kennedy, little sluggish from 190 to Cumberland. Inbound Stevenson delays from Harlem to Kedzie. 41 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 20 minutes, 8094 to the Verge. Tollways are fine. Traffic, service of La Quinta Inns and Suites. How do business travelers win on the road? Staying at La Quinta Inns and Suites. Relax with contemporary lobby makeovers and stylish room designs. Prepare to win at business. Book now at lq.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A mostly sunny day for today with a high 57. Then tonight, patchy clouds will develop later on, a low of 37. Intervals of clouds and sun throughout the day tomorrow with a high of 54. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
37 at O'Hare, 35 along Chicago's lakefront. The news is a service of Shell. Get the feeling of being rewarded with gold status at Shell with the Fuel Rewards program. Start saving on your very first fill and continue to save on every fill every day. Download the Fuel Rewards app, join and start saving today. 5:59. Here are the stories we're following on AM 560. The Answer. Police are looking for a driver involved in an overnight deadly hit and run on Chicago's north side. A federal appeals court siding with Mayor Emanuel in his feud with the Trump administration over sanctuary cities. State authorities are investigating the death of a 7-month-old girl from Hazel Crest earlier this week. The death of a West Side man who tried to hang himself in the Chicago lockup in 2016 will complicate his family's lawsuit against the city. Cubs 8-5 winners over the Cardinals after an off day. The White Sox back home tonight, hosting the world champion Astros. The Bears open the regular NFL season on Sunday Night Football, September 9th, Green Bay. More Dan and Amy after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
No collusion, no obstruction. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweeted that after the memos fired FBI Director James Comey wrote about his meetings with the president were given to Congress and then much of it made public. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, inside the 15 pages of Comey's reflections written before he was fired by President Trump, the awkward conversation about prostitutes in Moscow. Comey describes the president telling him the hookers thing is nonsense, but added that President Vladimir Putin told him Russia has some of the most beautiful hookers in the world. He also wrote about the so-called loyalty dinner at the White House, saying the president told him he needed loyalty and expected loyalty. Comey also recounted that President Trump said then National Security Advisor Michael Flynn had serious judgment issues. Dave?
Well, Rachel, the president just tweeted Michael Flynn's life can be totally destroyed while shady James Comey can leak and lie and make lots of money from a third-rate book. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi tweeted the president's attempts to intimidate and circumvent the law and undermine investigations demand immediate action to protect Special Counsel Mueller. Now, the president's hired former prosecutor New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani to join his legal team, hoping to end the Russia investigation. Why remains a big question in Florida. The morning after 2 sheriff's deputies were murdered at a restaurant, shot through a window.
What do you expect happens when you demonize law enforcement? The only thing these men were guilty of was wanting to protect you and me.
Gilchrist County Sheriff Bobby Schultz, the gunman, was found dead in a car. It appears he shot himself. Students in Arizona will soon have some days off.
On Thursday, we will begin a walkout.
Noah Carvelis and other teachers will go on strike, similar to what's happened lately in other states, demanding more pay and more state education funding. Students plan to walk out of high schools today nationwide in 3 hours, just like in March, to again protest gun violence. This 19 years to the day after the Columbine massacre in Colorado. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high-commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I know what you're saying. We were just talking about Comey, but Dan and Amy, that's not enough Comey for me.
Oh, wait.
I want
we need
more
Comey?
All right.
Again, so we don't need more cowbell. We need more Comey.
Would things be better, Jim? Director. My liege. Would things be better if Hillary Clinton was president? Because you obviously just said that Trump was morally unfit for the office, so you would think, right, things would be better,
right,
if Hillary had won like your entire family wanted.
Can we turn the next gen on, please? Oh, no. Hold on, let me try to.
Okay, well, we get sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and that's just how it is.
And now it works.
Okay.
You've leveled some very tough charges about him. You call him morally unfit. You call his presidency a forest fire. You say he's violating the rule of law. Do you think the nation would be better off if Hillary Clinton had won?
I can't answer that. That's something that hypothetical is too hard for me to go back in time and try and answer.
You paint a pretty dire picture of President Trump.
Yeah,
it's hard to imagine how you don't think the nation would be better off if Hillary Clinton had won.
Yeah, I don't think about it in those terms, though, Jake. I think we have the current president who was, in my view, legitimately elected, is serving as president. The question is he adhering to our values? He's clearly not. So what do we do about it? And I think the first thing we do is not get numb to it. When he calls for the jailing of private citizens in his tweets, don't shrug, but realize that's not okay. That's not normal.
So he was legitimately elected, was he, Director?
Well, that's nice.
So then why all this time with Russian collusion if he was legitimately elected? If you've come to the conclusion he's legitimately elected, then what are we talking about? The other thing we're talking about, he would say, is a possible obstruction of justice, because that's what they're really trying to get Trump on in terms of the predicate for impeachment. It's not Russian collusion. But I thought that sort of was unremarked upon. Jim Comey says Trump was legitimately elected, which is something that half the Democrat Party, at least, certainly the caucus in the House, doesn't believe.
But then later on, he asked him about obstruction of justice. And so he's going back and forth. He's really not committing.
You say it's possible. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. I mean, it's possible there's life on other planets. We don't know.
It is possible.
For you, somebody like you with your reputation, saying it's possible it's also possible that it's not true. Isn't that another way you could look at the same question?
Sure, but I'm not looking to the stars saying there might be green men out there. There's a reason I say it's possible. Two things struck me. One, the president's constantly bringing it up with me to deny it. And in my experience as an investigator, it's not an ironclad rule, but it's a striking thing when someone constantly brings up something to deny that you didn't ask about. And then second, I've always been struck in my encounters with him that he wouldn't criticize Vladimir Putin even in private, which struck me as odd. Now, those aren't definitive, those aren't conclusive facts, but the reason I'm saying it's possible is there are things that lead my common sense to believe it's possible.
But isn't that kind of cute? I mean, you're not saying that you have evidence of it. You're just saying it's possible. I mean, do you have evidence that President Trump has been compromised by the Russians? Have you seen evidence of it?
No, and I think I've said that throughout. I'm trying to be transparent as here's my reasoning. Here's why an honest answer has to be it's possible.
It's possible that he obstructed justice because he hasn't said anything. He never said anything negative about Putin in your presence, even though you said he was legitimately elected.
And that he's constantly bringing up the Russian investigation.
What would the nature of that obstruction be then? Possibly. What would it be? I mean, I have no idea. How do you divine from he has not criticized Putin in my presence to be the basis, commonsensically speaking, to say he could have obstructed justice? In what possible fashion would that, or possible form would that take? This is absurd. And this is why Jonathan Turley wrote a good piece and for the Fox News website. Jonathan Turley, George Washington University law professor, saying that Comey is tarnishing the FBI.
FBI directors have valued their circumspection. You know, they need to have presidents trust them. And Comey has really destroyed that. And it's not just the book. It's not just the tenor, but the timing. You know, the fact that he rushed this book out is inexcusable. He was the head of this investigation and is now one of the cooperating witnesses. Nobody would suggest that this book is benefiting the investigation. To the contrary, he's undermining his role as a witness. And so the question is, why is he doing it? And the answer is rather obvious. He's going to make a lot of money, but in the process, he's going to do untold harm to the institution he once headed.
Is there any question about that after a week of Comey? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. There certainly isn't among some of the gentlemen and ladies that CNN sat down with in Charleston, South Carolina, for a little focus group to respond to get people's, this is Republicans, by the way, this is Trump supporters, Charleston, get their reactions to what Comey has been saying all week, starting with, of course, his interview with Clinton Foundation donor Zero.
What did you think of James Comey?
I thought he seemed weak.
Weak.
Gary, I think that,
Thin skin. Fantasy land.
I think he's 6'8" tall, but he's a very little man. I think he diminished the office of the FBI.
The head of the FBI doesn't feel uncomfortable. That's sort of lily-livered. It's not what I would expect from a man.
What's lily-livered mean?
Weak.
Oh, Lily. So the word of the day is lily-livered?
Comey in one word or a hyphenated word.
Lily-livered.
Lily-livered.
I like the way she says it. Lily-livered.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Sum up Comey in one word or phrase, like those. We'll do our own focus group here. Weak.
Pansy.
Lily-livered, pansy.
That's mine.
Okay.
It's the season for pansies, and he's the biggest one I've seen so far this spring.
Oleaginous.
Oh.
That's always a good.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA. Then a quick comment.
Steve and Gary are on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good
Steve
detectives.
and Gary, not Steve and Gary.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Whoa.
See what I did there?
There's a reference.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whatever happened to the one?
Anyways. Steve?
We know what happened to the other one.
I don't know.
One's still wearing Hawaiian shirts. That's all.
I thought he ate himself to death, no?
No,
He's
he
still
lost
around?
some weight, didn't he?
No.
fat,
You're talking about a
thin,
different.
pick a weight and
You're
stick
talking about a different.
Okay.
Steve and Gary.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyways, good detectives are both born and made, and Comey is neither one. I mean, the guy's a dope, and how he rose to this position is just
Well, do you think
mystery.
do you think he's a dope, or do you think? And this is, how do these guys rise to these positions in political environments? He's political. He's a political animal. Despite all the time he spends talking about values, his values change when his interests do, and he just massaged his way up the food chain.
Exactly. He's just slimy and I'll do this and do that and whatever, whichever way the wind blows.
All right. Thanks for the call, Steve. Whichever way the wind blows. There's a phrase that describes Jim Comey. We'll accept that.
Comey's in town today. It's Friday. Yeah. He's in Chicago.
Oh, great.
That sounds fantastic.
Do you have the details? Because I think there's a lot of people out there who feel like Comey hasn't gotten to have his say.
I don't.
They'd like to hear
I don't
more
want to put
from him.
Through more public scrutiny, but no, he does have an event today.
Yeah, he's speaking at that Humanities Festival.
And you know who's going to be there? Lion. So apparently the
Lion Comey.
Lion Comey. www.lioncomey.com is where you can go for more information. But they have this lion mascot. Maybe he's a furry who took on a side job, and he goes to every public event that James Comey has, every book signing that he has.
Well, he's trying to get higher loyalty signed.
Right. Higher loyalty.
To Lion.
Shadowing Comey has learned that Republican campaign is to discredit the former FBI director, and this is how they're doing it with a furry costume creature who's tailing Comey on his book tour.
You know how
I love it.
Yeah, it's always good to have that.
Hello?
It's like, the chicken chasing around candidates who won't debate, that old political.
Right.
But the way that Republicans discredit Comey is by letting him talk.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up, new information about Flight 1380, and we hear from a firefighter who was on board who pulled the woman in from outside the plane into the plane. But first, here's your forecast. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 58 degrees. Tonight, a low of 36. And the weekend looks pretty good. Going to heat up around here finally. Saturday, some clouds and sun, a high of 54. And on Sunday, clouds and sun, a high near 60 degrees. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Kennedy Expressway. See mild delays in both directions. It's 22 minutes either way between O'Hare and downtown. The inbound delay is from 190 to Canfield, outbound Foster to Sayre. Eden's inbound, just a little congested approaching the junction. Inbound Eisenhower, slow Mannheim to Harlem and Independence to the Burns Circle. 38 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Inbound Stevenson, got a jam, First Avenue to Kedzie. 48 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, a little tight approaching the Burge. Bishop Ford, and a 5-minute delay, Cottage Grove to the Ryan, which always still look good. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in beautiful southeast Wisconsin, serving young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Now that same experience is available for young women. I know a lot of people think of Military Academy. They think it's a place where they send their child if they've done something wrong or have gotten kicked out of high school. No, that is not the case. At Military Academy, people come from all over the country and all over the world. It is a place that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual and character development, athletics, military traditions. They've been shaping minds since 1884. Grades 7 through 12, and there's boarding or day boarding going on now for full co-ed. And it's also a place that you can trust for your son and now daughter. As a mom, you want to know that if you do choose a military boarding school, that it would encompass the values that I look for. There's also limited registration going on right now for the co-ed summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, as well as year-round school application process. But space is limited. So here's what you do. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET to schedule a free tour or to speak with one of their advisors. Again, that number is 1-800-SJ-CADET, or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees the difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. But fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
It's Dan Proft, and I'm excited to tell you about the Dangerous Camp for Boys and over 20 other summer camps from Northridge Prep. What's Dangerous Camp? It's a camp designed to get your boys off their iPads, iPhones, and video games this summer. It's dangerously fun, not unsafe. They throw water balloons, play games, and learn the meaning of outdoor adventure. As a listener to the morning show, you've heard me talk about Northridge Prep, the all-boys school in Niles that instills the traditional values you hold as parents. Their summer programs for boys in grades 1 through 8 combine fun, adventure, and character growth. You won't find camps like this anywhere else. A few camps caught my eye, like basketball camps led by a former NCAA Division I coach and varsity players, battles of the Civil War, bugs and botany, intro to musical improv, even a robotics camp where campers learn to build, pilot, and code their own robots. Get your son off the couch and into the outdoors. You can learn more and register online at northridgeprep.org. That's northridgeprep.org.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy getting more one word or phrase descriptors for Comey. Mine would be Opie impersonator.
Oh.
Amish Texter gives us some choices of one-word descriptions for Comey. Mope, loser, ne'er-do-well, popinjay, doofus, sucky. Sucky, I think we'll go with that.
Sucky?
Yeah. Text from 219, lily-livered, lying, legal lurch. Great alliteration, too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lily-livered,
lying, legal lurch. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. And so you wanted to update us on the heroes of that Southwest airline flight.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with this story because I still can't believe it happened. The autopsy report came back yesterday on the victim, Jennifer Reardon, mother of two from New Mexico, 43 years old, just well known in her community and at Wells Fargo Bank where she worked. And she died from blunt trauma to her head, neck, and torso. So while this was happening, after that engine, the fan blade flew off, there was a firefighter on board who he jumped into action to try and save her. And he spoke yesterday for the first time.
People aboard that plane, God put people on that plane for a reason. And, that's, everybody acted and everybody stood strong. There was a family that lost a loved one. I feel for her family. I feel for her two kids, her husband, the community that she lived in. I can't imagine what they're going through.
And that's firefighter Andrew Needham, who was on that flight, who's a firefighter in a small town in Texas. But he said that they all worked together because the force is so strong. The plane's going 500 miles per hour. And they were just glad that they could bring a body back, at least to the family. Now, after she was finally pulled in, the flight attendant, there's new audio that was released of the flight attendants looking and trying to get that defibrillator.
The AED is in the front cabinet.
And everybody The flight attendants kept telling people to breathe because a lot of people put the masks on wrong, Dan. Not only were some upside down that we mentioned yesterday, you have to cover your nose with the mask and you have to breathe.
Everybody breathe. Everybody breathe. We're almost landing.
And she said that while she was taking her own mask off, saying it, and then putting back on to breathe because you can be knocked out within seconds, as I learned last night from NBC's aviation expert. Ready? Tom Costello.
Flight attendants say we should be covering our nose and our mouth with this mask, and put your mask on before a child's, because if the cabin loses pressure, you have seconds before you could lose consciousness. And finally, they say, forget the selfies, focus on saving your life.
Yeah.
Boy, that's good advice.
Well, people don't realize it is a matter of seconds.
Yeah, they don't.
Or you'll get knocked out.
Is my life more important than Facebook living this? I have no idea.
Well, some people Facebook Lived it. I mean, this shows where people's priorities are. And then some people, when they got off the plane, they decided to get their bags that they stored in the overhead bins instead of letting, I don't know. The whole thing is just creepy. And probably I'm obsessed with it because we are flying out tomorrow to Cancun.
Yeah.
I did a little investigation. We're not taking a 737. We're taking an Airbus 300. Okay.
The number of deaths on commercial flights in this country in 2017 was what?
0. Okay.
Tragic what happened on that Southwest flight. The hysteria in response to it and from certain quarters is also tragic.
Well, the hero pilot, former Navy pilot, U.S. Navy pilot, captain of the plane, she released a statement on behalf. Her name is Schultz, by the way. Joanne Schultz. On behalf of the entire crew, Tammy Jo Schultz. Yeah. On behalf of the entire crew, we appreciate the outpouring of support from the public and our coworkers as we all reflect on one family's profound loss. We have heavy hearts, and that's it. So she and the co-pilot have not made any television appearances. They are, just releasing a statement. And friends at Schultz's church, about 30 miles northwest of San Antonio, said that they're not surprised after listening to the recording and reading media reports about her actions. They say she's a lovely woman, a churchgoer, and she's just got a solidness about her. Like they describe her, she's a rock of Gibraltar.
All right.
So good for female pilots. Good for her.
Good for that female pilot.
Yep.
Can we now get to the naked burglar found in tub eating Cheetos? Because that's what I want to talk about.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Spearphishing has or will strike your business, wreaking havoc on your employees, brand, and your bottom line. Spearphishing can't be stopped by traditional email security solutions because messages appear to be legitimate from your boss, a trusted colleague, or a vendor asking you to wire money, confirm login credentials, or worse. Barracuda Sentinel is artificial intelligence for real-time spearphishing and cyber fraud defense. Reclaim your email in minutes with zero impact on network performance. Visit barracuda.com/AI.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/talkradio.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are two lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud. Luke the Liberal, the Swamp Brothers. Wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
What I suffer from is anxiety, along with depression. But I feel the anxiety triggers depression more times than not. My first experience with HPR was my initial interview. It was welcoming. It felt very good. I saw results pretty much immediately. Even after my first treatment, I felt different than when I came in. I think HPR could work for pretty much anyone. I think that what HPR has done for me was awaken a part of my brain that either stopped working or never worked. I think everybody can benefit from HPR. I'm Alex, and HPR Treatments has helped save my life.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life, and it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Tweet from Kevin Rooney. Tammy Jo Schultz handled that plane much better than Pussy Galore did when Goldfinger got sucked out. It's true. It's a good comparison. Yeah, Tammy Schultz. Who do you think plays her in the
in
film?
the Southwest 1380 film?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Tom
What do you
Hanks
think?
would be the inside track.
Will you stop it?
Wait, wouldn't it be cool if Sully played Tammy Jo Schultz?
Yeah, and put on a long brown wig. And
Well.
I remember after that whole chaotic-
Denzel, he was great in an airplane movie. Remember he had to come in upside down?
What was the name of that movie? Come on. And he was drunk.
Well,
Was it?
you know.
Flight. It was called Flight.
Yeah, Flight.
That was a good
Yeah,
movie,
That
too.
was good.
I didn't know.
Denzel. So Tammy Jo Schultz, Denzel, Sully, or Tom Hanks. Those are your three choices.
Yeah, just text which one you want.
Yeah.
To 64636, type in D8. Or any suggestions who could play her. But again, remember, she after that whole chaotic mess, she went after she landed. She walked back and she thanked every single passenger on that plane.
What about Andrew McCarthy?
Oh.
From Top
From
Gun.
Top.
Oh, he didn't make it out of Top Gun.
No.
What about Val Kilmer, Goose?
He's a little too
He's
bloated right
he's
now.
too fat for the cockpit. Yeah, it's true.
I think I hear him coming.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
What
shouldn't
happened to
fat
that guy?
He had too much salt. I'm going to refer this to you. We have to thank a listener today. Valerie, you pronounced that last name.
Yeah, you can't pronounce Tammy Jo Schultz. You have no chance at this name. Today, we'd like to thank Valerie Lurcia. Lurcia. Valerie Lurcia. Lurcia.
Lurcia. Do you want to spell it?
Or Lurcia.
Lurcia.
Is it Lurcia or
But
Lurcia?
it's Valerie. Valerie Lurcia Lurcia.
Lerschea. Lurcia sounds has more of a joie de vivre to it. Yeah. All right, Valerie Lurcia, a.k.a. Lurcia, thanks for making Chicago's Morning Answer and AM 560 part of your day.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Stories you will only hear discussed. You will only get to hear discussed on this show at 6:36.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Clear skies, 35 degrees. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is the newest member of the Trump personal legal team in the Russia probe. Meantime, Stormy Daniels' lawsuit against the president will come to an L.A. courtroom today. Florida authorities say they're still looking for a motive in the shooting deaths of two deputies near Gainesville. Sergeant Noel Ramirez and Deputy Taylor Lindsay were shot to death while eating lunch.
I made contact with the families, and as you'd expect, you can never be prepared for something like this.
The sheriff says the killer shot the men through a restaurant window. That killer was found dead outside of the restaurant. A fugitive nicknamed the Killer Grandma is under arrest in Texas, where marshals got a tip that Lois Reese was hiding out on South Padre Island. They arrested her at a restaurant yesterday. She's accused of killing her husband last month in Minnesota and a Florida woman. There was an earthquake last night centered in Ontario, felt by many in Metro Detroit, including this man, George Garcia.
I was just walking, and then the ground just started moving. It felt weird for a minute. I just thought it was a train going by.
Residents on Grosse Isle, right across the Detroit River from Ontario, said they thought the tremor may have been caused by a meteor. Police are looking for the driver involved in a deadly hit and run on Chicago's north side. An SUV ran into that woman last night in the 3300 block of North Halsted. A federal appeals court sides with Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel in his feud with the Trump administration over sanctuary cities.
There's clarity in this opinion to the position that it's clear that we as a city will stand our ground when it comes to immigrants.
The 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld an injunction banning Attorney General Jeff Sessions, for now, from withholding grant money from cities who do not cooperate with immigration authorities. State authorities are investigating the death of a 7-month-old girl from Hazel Crest earlier this week. Teachers and professors, just ahead of finals at Western Illinois University, could walk off the job before the end of this month. Cubs 8-5 winners over the Cardinals. White Sox back home tonight hosting the world champion Astros. Bears open the regular season on Sunday Night Football, September 9th at Green Bay. The Wolves are set to open up the AHL's Calder Cup playoffs tomorrow, taking on Rockford. The news, a service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom-printed signs, banners, and brochures. And now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only, and 6/23. Exclusions apply at Staples. 6:34, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's mind.
How do they reconcile their self-image as intellectually open with their practice of intellectually being closed? They really believe that there is no other way to approach life than a left-wing way. So you are not being intellectually closed by not allowing a conservative to speak.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Stop by a Subway restaurant for the new double meat signature wraps for just $6.99 each. Prices may vary. Additional charge for extras plus applicable tax. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the Ace Buy One Get One Free sale. Don't miss great Buy One Get One Free deals throughout the store. So many BOGOs, we can't name them all. Start the season right with savings on quality products from Scott's, Roundup, Ortho, and more. There are so many BOGOs and so many ways to save. Hurry in. The Ace Buy One Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating stores. Buy select item and get designated item free. See store for details.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
6:35. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound tri-state, we see mild delays from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and then heavy delays from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. The other tollways look fine right now. Eden's inbound, delays start at Pratt, 22 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. Kennedy, 30 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 26. About Eisenhower, 45 minutes from 390 to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson, heavy. It is an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 54 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 36 minutes to 355. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown, traffic service of Staples. Staples has low prices on a huge selection of ink, paper, and the latest printers. Now at Staples, get 50% off the HP OfficeJet Pro 6900 series this week only at Staples, your total printing solution. While supplies last. Valid on SKU 2256781, ends 421. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Sunny skies, 58. Patchy clouds and 36 overnight. And a calm Saturday weather-wise. Clouds and sun, 54. And the clouds and sunshine, 57 on Sunday. Currently, we have 37 at O'Hare, 35 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k rollover specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
No Victocrats allowed. Why? Because we've got a country to save. Join me, Larry Elder, tonight starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
I got it. I got it for Tammy Jo Schultz. Who will play her in the movie?
Yeah.
About that Southwest flight in her life.
Oh.
We got. I'll tell you, we've got some wrong answers here. Text from 630, Sandra Bullock, obviously.
Oh, she would be good.
Because she was in that space movie.
Yeah.
This was just terrible. Except for the fact that she didn't talk. That was good. Text from 219, either Hilary Swank or Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin would be good.
Yeah.
What about Gyllenhaal? What's her name? She was in Crazy Heart.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, his sister.
Maggie
Gyllenhaal.
Oh, I think
Maggie Gyllenhaal would be perfect for
I
that.
prefer Jake.
Okay.
But I've got the
I
obvious.
Can't Quit You.
Yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal was in Brokeback Mountain. I Can't Quit You. Am I saying it right?
It's a wonderful Jake Gyllenhaal you do.
Wait.
Not a lot of people do a Gyllenhaal impersonation.
I try.
Here's the answer, though.
Yeah.
Who will play Tammy Jo Schultz in the movie? It's so obvious. How did you not see this?
What?
Robert Hayes. Ted Stryker. Based on his previous work. Right? He's already done the heroic pilot.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah, right.
All right.
So we need some drops.
Let's continue to take your recommendations, but good luck beating Robert Hayes.
Yeah.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 646-36DA, turnkey.pro text line. Stories that you will only hear on this show, on the station. For example, got a couple of them this morning.
Okay.
3 men were asleep inside their Glen St. Mary, Florida mobile home when 5 young intruders claiming to be police broke down the front door.
Ooh.
The first intruder wore a mask and shouted "Sheriff's Office" from outside the trailer before breaking the front door and opening fire, shooting a single round. That turned out to be a mistake. Upon hearing the break-in, 2 of the 3 men staying in this mobile home, and don't ask me why there's 3 dudes in a mobile home. I don't know. But one of them had an AR-15. Remember that gun that should be banned because
that's right.
because it was used for it was used to do harm. One of the individuals staying in that mobile home, armed with an AR-15, confronted the criminals with open fire in self-defense. The armed victims shot about 30 rounds, killing the gunman who wore a mask and wounding 2 others who are now in custody. So, again, just as we talked about the guy who helped a victim of a knife attack here in Oswego, ran to his home, got his AR-15, ran out, and rendered aid. So here you have an individual, a couple of individuals, 3 individuals, protecting themselves and their domicile from armed intruders with an AR-15. So do they get to keep their guns because they acted in self-defense to preserve their lives and the lives of their comrades against predators, or no? I mean, I don't know, right? AR-15 is an inanimate object, just like Toni Preckwinkle, who's the chair of the Democrat Party, because that's gender neutral. She's an inanimate object.
She's the first African-American woman to chair the Democratic Party. No, that's it. That's they're celebrating.
Chair. You use something that's not gender neutral.
Chairwoman.
She is the chair. She was asked if the chair, the title chairman should be changed. She said, "I'm a chair."
Did she really? She
yes.
didn't say the chairperson?
I'm a chair. She is a chair.
Of the Democratic Party.
Remember when Clint Eastwood addressed her at the Republican National Convention?
No,
that was Toni Preckwinkle. She's a chair. So is an AR-15. It's an inanimate object. In the hands of somebody defending themselves, nobody complains. In the hands of somebody preying on others, people do. But, I mean, again, all cliches are true. It's the person, not the gun, isn't it?
Well, today there's another walkout to honor the 13 kids killed in Columbine years ago. A number of kids are leaving school.
Mm-hmm.
And Parkland survivors have a big rally in Littleton, Colorado.
For the book
today.
deal?
No, this is to encourage people that are 17 and 18, encourage them to sign up to vote.
And
I don't know why they're not in class. They seem to spend a lot of time out of the classroom.
And to pre-order David Hogg's book, right?
Yeah, he's got a book, and another student has a book deal.
Great. We'll transition right from Comey to David Hogg. This is going to be fun. Fun time to be in Mexico, so you don't have to listen to any of this. Illinois plan, speaking of guns. Mm-hmm. Remember, we talked about Effingham County being a sanctuary, voting to be a sanctuary county when Second Amendment rights are infringed upon by the General Assembly in Illinois. Some Illinois lawmakers want to give extra money to schools, of course they do, that replace armed security guards with unarmed social workers and behavior therapists. This is legislation sponsored by Chris Welch, a Democrat from Hillside. When did Chris Welch stop beating his girlfriend? I don't know. I don't know if he has. Check out the police report on Chris Welch. But don't go after Chris Welch. Don't. Oh, we've talked about it in this show. Slamming her head against the counter.
Oh, yeah.
Police reports there. We've reported on it in West Cook News, my newspapers. But don't include him in the Me Too movement. He's a Chicago Democrat. He's exempt, right? Okay. I just want to make that clear. Don't go bothering him about those things because he's trying to redirect your money to schools so they replace armed security officers with unarmed social workers and behavior therapists. He heard from advocates who argued that investing in mental health resources is the best way to treat the epidemic of violence. So much wrong with that statement. His plan, backed by 16 other Democrats in the House, would allow schools to apply for an optional grant if they promise to reallocate funding for from school-based law enforcement to mental health services. Good idea? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Understand, again, this is not in addition to, this is instead of. Right? In addition to, not instead of. Excuse me, instead of and not in addition to.
No, we need to have an armed security guard at every school. In every school in this country, I believe. I don't know about arming teachers, but I just know there has to be some line of defense at a school. And I'd hate to give that up in order to have therapy so we could talk about feelings and all that. And I know there are some kids that are mentally disturbed. I understand that, but I don't want to take away the line of security for that.
Dennis in Crystal Lake.
Well, you're talking to one of these mentally disturbed people. But anyways, Dan and Amy, you guys are behind on the mainstream reason these kids are going out and
it's April 20th. And they had
leaving school and everything else.
Yeah, I know. This is
They're
another
a bunch
one
of
of these.
potheads. They're a bunch of potheads on 420 going to smoke some dope.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Dennis. All right.
Not everyone's smoking dope.
Also, we got to get to this story, too. I'm sure.
Was this the Cheetos in the bathtub?
No.
Oh.
This is a story you won't hear anywhere else. Because this is important.
Okay.
And I know everybody's talking about this and whether this is, what needs to be done to reform the police departments, particularly this one in Overland Park in Kansas, right? The Overland Park, should the Department of Justice intervene? Right? This is the question on people's minds. The John Albers case.
Okay.
Right? Everybody knows about that's what you guys are talking about, right? The John Albers case? Everybody's talking about the John Albers case.
John Albert's case?
John Albers.
Albers, okay.
This is an officer who shot and killed a teenager. Everybody knows about this case, don't they? John Albers? What? How is that? Officer Clayton Jensen allegedly acted recklessly and deliberately when he shot 13 times at John Albers, who may not have even known police were at his home, according to a lawsuit filed this week by his parents. The boy was backing his mom's minivan out of the family garage Albers, a junior varsity soccer player and wrestler, was home alone on January 20th of this year when police were called to the two-story house to check on him. When they arrived at the home, two officers never announced their presence at the residence or even knocked on the door, according to the complaint. Then the family's two-car garage door began to rise. Officer Clayton Jensen began moving toward the vehicle, unholstered his weapon. As Albers backed out of the garage at about 2.5 miles an hour in a straight line, the lawsuit alleges he opened fire. The officer's actions were contrary to department policies and general law enforcement standards. Again, this is the complaint. Jensen, the officer, yelled, "Stop, stop, stop," and only waited 1 second before he fired his pistol twice at Albers. Video evidence from a neighbor's front door camera shows the minivan's rear brake lights activated as soon as the first shot was fired, according to the lawsuit, but Albers was allegedly hit, rendering him incapacitated and unable to keep control of the minivan, which is why it continued and the officers continued to open fire. And so the question is Overland Park, the police, are they racist? Should Officer Clayton be imprisoned for life? Do we have to have a national conversation about this incident? Why aren't we having a national conversation about this incident?
Was everybody white?
Oh, yeah,
That's
why.
No,
that's why. Oh, that's why. That's why. Did Clayton Jensen go out that morning to kill John Albers? No. Did he perhaps make a tragic error in judgment? Perhaps. That's certainly what this civil suit alleges. Don't know the status of any potential legal action against Albers, but why don't people care? This is a police officer who shot and killed a teenager. Why don't people care? Isn't this about holding the police accountable? Isn't this about protecting our young people? Why does nobody know about this case? Mike on the north side.
Yeah, Dan, what you were talking about before is a classic liberal redistribution of wealth. They take the police resources from the taxpaying neighborhoods, they move them to the freeloader neighborhoods, and then they defund the police and use the money for social programs. So you're spending money on social programs where they're not going to do any good, and you're taking police protection from the taxpaying areas.
Well, yeah, but the social workers and that sort also, too, will fall in line with the leftist orthodoxy in the schools. Security guards may not be as copacetic in terms of the overall politicization of K through 12 education, but these mental health professionals are going to be hired by the cultural Marxists that are generally in charge of K through 12 education will just add to the ranks. So you got that added benefit. And what's the price for us? Another $2 or $3 million pension? Sure. Throw it on the pile.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
I'm Wally Hines in for Lou Dobbs. Plans to drill in the Arctic Wildlife Refuge. Bank account ownership grows. Those stories next.
Hi, this is Jack from Banyan Hill. You might have heard about the $34.6 billion that's expected to be doled out in what we call freedom checks. Huge checks that are changing people's lives from coast to coast. People like Sean from Pittsburgh. In fact, he's on the phone right now. Sean, you there?
Yes, I am, Jack.
Sean, let me ask you, how do you like getting these massive checks in your mailbox every month?
Well, Jack, we used to put stuff on credit cards living paycheck to paycheck. But now, after we started collecting a specific kind of freedom check, I have to say, life's a lot more fun.
I bet it is. In fact, getting massive freedom checks is fun no matter who you are. And with $34.6 billion expected to be paid out in private, non-government money starting as early as May 1st, now's the time to stake your claim on some cash. To get all the details, go to www.freedomchecks126.com before the May 1st deadline. That's www.freedomchecks126.com.
The Trump administration's moving toward oil and gas drilling at Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. A notice being published in the Federal Register starts a 60-day review to sell oil and gas leases in the remote region. Oil and gas drilling in the region is a longtime Republican priority and opposed by most Democrats. German pharmaceutical and chemical company Merck has agreed to sell its global consumer health business to Procter & Gamble for $4.2 billion in cash. The World Bank says that roughly 7 out of every 10 adults worldwide now has some sort of bank account, up from 5 in 10 adults early this decade. The growth is fueled largely by the proliferation of cell phone-based bank accounts and other simple bank account programs in places such as India and sub-Saharan Africa. Please join Lou for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A+ rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Known best for being better, Permaseal.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Let's play Guess That Mineral. What makes clothes cleaner, skin and hair softer, and can even save you money every single day? Here's a bonus hint. It's also delicious. That's right, salt. Adding salt to soften your home's water supply makes appliances run more efficiently for cleaner clothes and a lower electric bill. Plus, it removes harsh minerals, making skin and hair silky smooth. Get the full scoop on salt-based water softeners at alittlesalt.org.
Why do we call it small business? Why not agile business, nimble business, dance circles around the big, bulky behemoths business? Ooma Office, the small business phone solution, has a virtual receptionist to direct calls to the right extension and a mobile app to help you answer while away from the office. But all that's small really is the price, starting at only $19.95 a month. Visit Ooma.com, that's OOMA, or call 866-649-9377 to find out more. Ooma, the phone your small business deserves.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out ShootPointBlank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
I'm Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Game show idea. Comey, Corey, or Christian. I'm going to read a series of passages, and you tell me which was said or written by former FBI Director Jim Comey, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, or 50 Shades of Grey protagonist Christian Grey. Let's begin. I want you to know that nothing has happened in the last year to change my view. Boy, those were the words I needed to hear. I know. And the East Coast loves you, and by the East Coast, I mean me. Do you think gay sex is a perversion? We lie there, panting together, waiting for our breathing to slow. He gently strokes my hair. Boy, I survived. That wasn't so bad. He was not going to get a hug without being a whole lot stronger than he looked. He wasn't. He holds out his hand, and in his palm are 2 shiny silver balls linked with a thick black thread. As he extended his hand, I made a mental note to check its size. It was smaller than mine, but did not seem unusually so. Look out, E.L. James. Jim Comey and Cory Booker are coming for you.
Building owners and managers. Now was the perfect time of year for a service and maintenance agreement with Waukegan Roofing. Since 1914, Waukegan Roofing has been installing and maintaining roofs you can rely on for all of Chicagoland. Our experienced team of professional service technicians is the right solution for preserving the integrity of your new or existing roofing system for years to come. With your dedicated service technician and our multi-point inspection program, we cover all areas of your roof from early detection to preventative maintenance to repairs and everything in between. We're the licensed commercial roofing contractor you can rely on for all your roofing needs. Building owners and managers, now is the time to prepare your low-slope commercial roof for everything that Mother Nature throws at it this year. Call Waukegan Roofing today for your service and maintenance appointment at 877-ROOF-201. That's 877-ROOF-201. Or visit us online at waukeganroofing.com. Waukegan Roofing, installing roofs you can rely on since 1914.
Illinois licensee 104000761.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad, just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early-stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He wrote them before he wrote his book. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and James Comey's memos have been given to Congress and made public with some parts blacked out. The fired FBI director told MSNBC he wrote about his meetings with Donald Trump because,
given the nature of the person, as I understood the president-elect, he might not tell the truth about those if it ever became an issue, and so I needed a written record.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, Comey's memos recount candid discussions with President Trump. He described their exchanges over dinner at the White House as chaotic and conversation as jigsaw puzzle. He also wrote that he told the president, I don't do sneaky things. I don't leak. I don't do weasel moves. Comey also described a meeting with then Chief of Staff Reince Priebus. He wrote that he told Priebus the president had expressed an interest in the FBI investigating the, quote, golden showers thing. Comey also said he discussed the president's immigration order with Priebus. Dave?
Now, Rachel, the president again tweeted Comey leaks and lies, calling his book third rate, and he again reiterated no collusion, no obstruction. Democratic Congressman Elijah Cummings disagrees, saying President Trump's interference was a blatant effort to deny justice. They still don't know the motive in Florida, why 2 sheriff's deputies were murdered, shot through the window of a Chinese restaurant. Gilchrist County Sheriff Bobby Schultz says this is what happens when law enforcement is demonized.
Every type of hate, every type of put down that you can think of.
The gunman was found dead in a car. It appears he shot himself. A wanted woman known as the Killer Grandma was captured last night at a resort in Texas. Lois Reese.
Reese had been on the run since March when her husband, 54-year-old David Reese, was found fatally shot at their home in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota. She's also accused in the murder of 59-year-old Pamela Hutchinson with the same gun. Detectives believe Reese killed Hutchinson to assume her identity.
Fox's Tom Rigotti. An 83-year-old got a lethal injection last night. Walter Moody, the oldest man to be executed in modern times, for the mail bomb murder of a federal judge. Fox News, fair and balanced.
36 degrees in Chicago, sunshine at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police are on the hunt looking for a driver this morning involved in a deadly hit and run on Chicago's north side. Authorities say an SUV ran into a woman last night in the 3300 block of North Halstead. The driver then took off after the incident. The woman was hospitalized. She later died. A federal appeals court is ruling in Mayor Emanuel's favor in his battle with the Trump administration. AM 560's David Stewart has more.
The appeals court is upholding an injunction by a federal judge in Illinois that prevents the White House from withholding grant money from cities, counties, and states that regard themselves as sanctuaries for immigrants. Mayor Emanuel says the White House is hurting law enforcement.
They think fighting us on the principle of being a sanctuary welcoming city is more important than helping the police departments get the technology they need to do a better job in public safety.
Emanuel says there's no reason to withhold money the city needs for new police technology. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
The full Chicago Police Board will decide the fate of the officer who shot and killed Quintonio LeGrier and Betty Jones in 2015. Board member Eva Delgado ruled yesterday that the actions of Officer Robert Rialmo were unjustified. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability had recommended his firing, but Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson disagreed. Cook County Circuit Court Clerk Dorothy Brown running for mayor of Chicago in spite of being the focus of an ongoing federal investigation. She officially plans to announce her campaign Sunday. Meantime, 22-year-old community activist Jamal Green has filed paperwork to form a political committee and may run for mayor. Green made headlines as a member of Black Lives Matter in Chicago. Cubs 8-5 winners over the Cardinals. White Sox play host to the World Series champion Astros tonight. The news service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only on 6/23. Exclusions apply at Staples. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity just wants jobs to stay in America.
That these auto companies are now building their plants, their factories right here in America, and so many are now committing to doing it. I want American-built cars, and I don't care if it's Honda. I don't care if they're building the cars here and they're American jobs here. That's what I care about.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joel Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eden's delays start at Devon. It's 25 minutes, Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 21, inbound Kennedy. Heavy starting at Canfield. 37 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 19 from Montrose, 16 in the Express. Outbound 33 minutes to O'Hare. On Eisenhower. 55 minutes, 390 to downtown. 38 from Manheim. Outbound 31, 390. Stevenson, brutal. An hour and 12 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 56 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 38 minutes to 355. On Ryan, 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, 80 to the merge, Bishop 420. Northbound Tri-State, it's low 87th to the Hinsdale Oasis. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Eastbound Reagan Tollway, slow 31 to Eola. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, mostly sunny, high 57. Tonight, chilly with patchy clouds, low 37. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun, high 54. Then a cloudy night, low 39. Clouds and sun Sunday, high 58. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
37 O'Hare, 35 along the lakefront. And your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chamber630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Who is losing population faster, Illinois or the Illinois Republican Party? It's interesting. We have, speaking of interesting, the governor's race just got a lot more interesting. You have Spalding. You have former governor.
I haven't seen Spalding in a while. My kids asked if he died because he's, been all over the airways for the past 2 years, and now he's gone and, they're taking a break, obviously.
2 years. It was like 4 months. It just seemed like 2 years.
He started a long time ago.
It's not 2 years.
It was dabbling, him and children in this cafeteria taking their food.
Well,
and
he's
then
tired.
He walked down the street.
He's got to rest. It was physically exhausting for him to write all those checks. But so you got Spalding, you got former Governor Bruce Rauner. Now you have State Senator Sam McCann, who has run several times and won, Republican state senator, downstate, Macoupin County. He has left the Republican Party, and he's launched an independent campaign for governor. He's got to get 25,000 signatures to get on the ballot. The filing is the third week in June. That shouldn't be an issue. Sam McCann, here's a little piece of his announcement video yesterday.
They have failed us. Rauner and Chicago Democrats have led our state down the wrong path. Higher taxes, backward morals, and disregard for the rule of law is the Illinois they've created. It's time for a real transformation for the state of Illinois. I'm Sam McCann, and I'm running for governor to put Illinois on a path of prosperity and promise. As conservatives, we know and believe that you can't spend money you don't have, and that opportunity should exist for everyone, not just a chosen few. I'm running to restore what real, hardworking Illinoisans value the most: liberty, family values, and law and order.
The music in the background.
It's such a.
You know what it conjures up to me?
What?
The convoy, the team bus, and all the parents
from
following
Hoosiers?
Hickory,
Yeah.
to game to game as they make their championship run.
Well, the French horn is so profound in that piece.
So now, in the interest of full disclosure, in my private life, where I run this PAC and support legislative candidates and oppose legislative candidates, in 2016, I allied with Governor Rauner, much to my ever-loving chagrin in retrospect, and backed a primary challenger to Sam McCann.
Okay.
For his state Senate seat, and Sam McCann won. And if I had to do it over again, I'd probably do it differently. But we do have some disagreements here. It's a very interesting approach and market positioning that Sam McCann is taking, as provided in that announcement video. But for more specifics, we're pleased to be joined by State Senator Sam McCann. Sam, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
So, you kind of lay it out in your 3-minute announcement video, but since we have the horse, let's get it right from his mouth. Why have you decided to leave the GOP and run against Rauner and Pritzker?
Well, technically, we're in the process of leaving. We haven't really left past tense.
Okay.
We're looking to form the new conservative party, not running as an independent.
Okay.
We're looking to cause a paradigm shift. Because it seems that the Republican Party has lost its way. It is totally unrecognizable to most of us. I think it's totally unrecognizable to most of us downstate and to a good portion of the folks up in your area as well. So what we're doing is we're in the process of forming the third party. I'm still the elected Republican sitting senator for the 50th district until the middle of January of 2019.
Right.
But what we are looking to do is be the next governor of Illinois. move the state forward, and we're looking to bring people into this movement along the way. So if you are within the sound of my voice, give us a call, reach out. We would like to see you run for state senate, state rep, get involved up and down the ballot.
What is
across Illinois?
Yeah, what's the name of your party?
The Conservative Party.
It's just conservative.
So this is interesting. So that I didn't fully appreciate this. So this is a conservative party party that you're starting. You're going to run under the conservative banner for governor, and you want to recruit conservatives who will run under the conservative banner for state offices, other legislative offices and the like.
Well, of course, I think that conservatives ought to have a voice in Illinois, and it seems to me that the two options they have now, neither one of those provide an adequate voice for conservatives in Illinois.
What is your biggest point of contentions with Governor Rauner and what he has done while in office?
How long do we have?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Pick your top 5.
Yeah. Well, you pick. I think we could be here. I have no idea how long we're scheduled to go. I don't know if this is a 3-minute interview or a 30-minute interview, but I don't know where to begin. But I know we could talk forever. I mean, from the transgender birth certificate bill to a taxpayer-funded abortion on demand, to the war on working people. You name it. We could keep going. He revoked the right of conscience for healthcare providers. I mean, we're talking about a guy with an R after his name, right? This is not Pat Quinn. This isn't Pritzker.
Right.
This is a guy with an R after his name. And what's amazing to me is that the majority, now albeit a small majority, a small margin between Ives and Rauner, but the majority of Illinois Republicans say, "Yeah, we're prepared to follow this guy."
Yeah, but here's the thing, Sam. I mean, it sounds a little bit like you're running a Republican primary campaign in a general election. So, is your candidacy?
No, I'm running a conservative because the Republican Party has left in Illinois anyway. I don't think nationally. I think the Republican Party nationally is doing a pretty good job. I think President Trump's doing a great job. I think the Republican Party nationally, it's morning again in America. But in Illinois, I think.
But let me
it's
just
appalling.
But let me ask you this though: is it your estimation that the conservative base of the Republican Party is enough to win a 3-way race for governor in a general election?
So let me answer it this way: I would be the first to admit that a downstate conservative could not win a 2-way race for governor in Illinois. Probably couldn't win a 2-way race for any statewide office in Illinois, but certainly not governor. I get that totally. But I would also posit that a 3-way race might be the only way a downstate conservative could.
Now let me let's go to an area where we have a disagreement, and this is on the public sector unions and some of the votes you've taken in particular with respect to collective bargaining rights, the attempt to strip the governor of his collective bargaining rights with AFSCME a couple of years back. And do you see your apparent alliance with the public sector unions as one way to draw in people who may otherwise be considered voting for Pritzker?
I think doing the right thing shows. That's what I heard. I mean, that's, you disclosed it. And by the way, Dan, I have no problem with, you and I have known each other for a number of years, not overly well, but we've known each other.
Yeah.
And we agree on a lot. I think we agree on the majority of issues. We disagree on a couple, and this being one of them. But I did the right thing for my district, and my district responded, right? We won. And had I not done the right thing, I wouldn't have won. And so I think doing the right thing is always the way to show the people that you're there for them and not there for the party, not there for yourself, not there for a chosen few. And so, yeah, I guess.
But the question then, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Sam.
No, answering your question, yeah, I did what was best for my district, and then also let's talk about what that vote was, that one particular vote, because up until that point, up until that one particular vote, I had been with the caucus 100%. 100%. I had voted with the governor in the Republican caucus 100%. Now, there were a couple of those votes up until that point that I didn't really agree with. I thought the party, the caucus, the governor was taking the wrong approach on these issues. It was the beginning of the budget stalemate, standoff.
Mm-hmm.
But I stuck with the caucus, and I looked the governor in the eye. It's not like I pulled something and voted out of left field. They knew it was coming for a couple of months. I looked the governor in the eye twice, just he and I, one-on-one, and told him what I was going to do, and said, let's think about this. Let's think about, is this the right approach? So the vote that I took, it didn't strip him of his rights to bargain. When you say it that way, it's almost in a vacuum. He ran on a big plank of his platform in his campaign was calling the AFSCME union names. He said, he would shut the government down if that's what it took to break them, and so forth and so on. So he hadn't exactly set this jovial tone. He hadn't even really set, a moderate tone. He'd set this tone of, I'm going to go there and break that union.
No, but
and
but just getting beyond the tone to the substance of it. He is a proponent of right to work, and obviously the public sector unions and the trades are not, and you're not. And so that's a substantive disagreement, and you're not the only one that has that disagreement with him or with proponents of right to work within the Republican Party or the conservative movement in the state. But I guess my point is to say, so there's a substantive disagreement there on policy. And do you expect, and are you banking on as part of this to serve the interests of the public sector unions or the trade unions or some combination of the two on that issue?
I'm for working people, whether you're union or non-union, white collar, blue collar, public sector, private sector. I'm for working people. Period. End of story. I'm for all working people. If it takes a working person forward, if it brings working people up the ladder, I'm for working people. And furthermore, I think all the unions are, for the most part, are going to be with the Democratic nominee. Right?
Yeah, right.
So when I took that vote, when you say ask me, and when other pundits or folks who take a different view of all of this talk about the unions, it's almost like you envision me up there on a stage with the president of the union, and I'm doing this for these letters behind me on a billboard. I didn't take that vote for the president of the union. I didn't take that vote for those letters asked me, right? I took it for those prison guards who are, for the most part, veterans. They're, for the most part, quite frankly, downstate Republicans and conservative independents and conservative Democrats who are just trying to feed their family. They start out making about $46,000 a year. And I could go on. There's all sorts of job descriptions, right? I'll use that one as a perfect example. But there are. I spoke to some workers from the Hope School that serves the developmentally disabled in my district last night before I went to Kankakee. That those people work for an average $12, $13 an hour. They're not making $100,000 a year like Bruce Rauner has led a lot of people to believe. They're not going to make $150,000 a year in retirement. The people who are going to make $150,000 a year in retirement are the political cronies he's appointed to lead departments, or actually the sweet spot are all the deputy directors.
Well,
right? They make almost as much as the director.
Let me just explore this a little bit, just in terms of kind of the public sector union policy agenda. Are you support? I know in your video you talk about wanting to repeal the Rauner-Madigan income tax hike, which I think is a fair way to describe it, and I think is a good idea. What about things like the $15 minimum wage and some of the other agenda items for the progressive left, the public sector unions?
Yeah. So the minimum wage in this country, I think, needs to go up, but I think it needs to be set by Congress. I think there are 50 states. Each state has the ability, and we have one of the higher minimum wages. I do believe the minimum wage needs to go up, but it should be done across the board. It should be done at the federal level, and I've told them that. I've looked the folks when they come to visit with me. When I talk about the folks, I'm talking about their members. I very rarely ever see an official from the union. I think I've met the president of the AFSCME union. I've never really sat down and met her. I've been on the same stage with her a couple of times when they had me come to address their membership. I deal with those people.
Well, so then, Sam, so
I'm not. Yeah, I voted no on that. I said that needs to happen at the federal level.
If you're not going to have significant union backing, and you're up against two oligarchs, how do you put the resources together? I mean, this was the Jeannie Ives challenge, right? You're one of 59 senators. She was one of 118 state reps. People don't know who you are outside your district, so you got to put together resources to market, and now you've got to put together resources to market into the resources being expended by two oligarchs. How do you make that work?
Well, that's one reason I'm on the phone with you right now. We're looking to cause a paradigm shift. If you're within the sound of my voice, give me a call, text, email, 217-341-8524.
Do you have a website? Oh, you're handing out your cell phone number. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let's
Roland Burleson was on here giving out his home phone number. Well, do you have a website that people can go to?
And that's my cell phone number. Send me a text, right? And then I can follow it up with a phone call. I can't take everybody's call at once, but I can receive texts, and I will get back to you because we want to cause a paradigm shift in Illinois because it needs it.
217-782 what?
217-341.
Oh, 341.
8524.
217-341-8524. All right, text Sam McCann all day and all night. Boy, you're going to get more connected than you ever wanted to be, I bet.
It's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people requires something. That common denominator is the people.
Do you have a website, or how is the campaign being put together to get to get the signatures required?
McCannforIllinois.com. McCann for McCannfor Illinois spelled out .com.
Well, you mentioned in your announcement video, and you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation about values and some of the moral issues where you and former Governor Ron are at odds. And so are you going to be somebody that leans into talking about social issues rather than the approach that the Republican Party has taken, that to try and take sanctuary state and the life issue and all of these other issues off the table and just pretend they don't exist?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's what we did in our announcement video. I think I broached those issues. I mean, I think we broke sanctuary state. Right? I think to hit that head on if you watch the entire 3 minutes. And I think, again, think about this. President Trump won not by running from all of that, but by embracing it, right? So I don't think that the National Party necessarily is having the problem that we're having. They're embracing, they're pushing in, they're leaning in and saying, hey, this is who we are, this is what, and this is why. You have to explain why, right? There's a lot of people who, they're not like us. They don't pay attention to all of this minutia, this political minutia. And so they don't know why they feel the way they do on this issue. And when you have a deep conversation with them, they're like, hey, wait, that makes some sense. I mean, again, that's why President Trump won, right? He didn't win because he converted the entire Republican Party. He won because the party was attempting to do what you just described. He had 16 opponents in the primary. If he would have started out with one or two, he wouldn't have won, right? What he did by entering that race was the number of people who supported him in relationship to that large number of opponents. He was able to win enough primaries to become the nominee. And how did he do that? He did that by getting a ton of conservative Democrats, a ton of union conservative Democrats and independents and Republicans across the country, much like Ronald Reagan did, to become the next president of the United States. So the answer to your question is yes, we're leaning in, we're embracing. That's a big part of what we're talking about here.
How do you, I thought Ronald's response to your announcement yesterday was interesting. Essentially, part of it was to criticize your business background and some of the challenges that you've had in your business background. How do you respond to his response?
Well, I would say that I have walked in the footsteps of the average Illinoisan. He has not. I think it's interesting that he is one of these guys that, like a lot of politicians, he will stand up there and say, oh, we got to make Illinois better for business. These poor business people are going out of business. These poor business people, they're having trouble hanging on. Well, yeah, I know. because I'm one of those first-generation poor business people who started at the age of 23 with zero capital. I had nothing to invest, zero, right? I came from a broken home, had no money, no inheritance, didn't inherit a business, didn't put together a bunch of venture capitalists to go and raid businesses. I started a little construction company because there was no jobs to be had in the community in which I lived. And over the course of 25 years, I turned it into something. We had a little thing called that correction in the economy back in 2008 that caused me and a lot of other people in the construction business a lot of problems. And so, yeah, I would say to Governor Rauner, I think it's interesting that you stand up there half the day and talk about how we should have pity on these poor little business people. Well, I agree. So why are you lambasting me? Because I've had the same problems that thousands of Illinoisans have experienced. And you see, Illinois, for all those people listening, Governor Rauner has no clue what you've been through. He has no clue what you're going through. And he doesn't really care. He just wants your vote so that he can attain more power for himself and a couple of other people at the top of their pyramid.
He is State Senator Sam McCann, a independent conservative party, is that he's starting candidate for governor who will file at least 25,000 signatures at the third week of June if he's going to be on the ballot and try and challenge Rauner and Pritzker in the general election. McCannforIllinois.com is the website. Sam McCann, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Amy. Thank you very much.
Good luck. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. It's the Ace Buy One, Get One Free sale. Don't miss great Buy One, Get One Free deals throughout the store. So many BOGOs, we can't name them all. Start the season right with savings on quality products from Scott's, Roundup, Ortho, and more. There are so many BOGOs and so many ways to save. Hurry in. The Ace Buy One, Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating stores. Buy select item and get designated item free. See store for details.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back, and it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me, and I recommend it to everybody.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560. The Answer.
I still can't wait to hear your Cheetos story.
The naked burglar found in tub eating Cheetos. It's one of those stories where the headline is the story.
There's nothing behind it. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Elaine Parker. She's the president of Job Creators Network Foundation and the Tax Cuts Works nationwide bus tour that is being launched in support of the Trump tax cuts. That's at 7:37.
And at 8:08, you're not going to want to miss it, our interview with Andrew McCarthy. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. 34 degrees at 7:31. President Trump sympathizing with his former national security advisor this morning by going after fired former FBI Director James Comey. The president using his Twitter account to ask questions from the former FBI director, like so General Michael Flynn's life can be totally destroyed while shady James Comey can leak and lie, one of the president's tweets this morning. Florida authorities say they're still looking for a motive in the shooting deaths of 2 deputies near Gainesville. Gilchrist County Sheriff Bobby Schultz.
I don't have answers to why this happened. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement will conclude and conduct their investigation at a time that they feel fit to release information.
Sergeant Noel Ramirez, Deputy Taylor Lindsay were shot to death while eating lunch yesterday. Barbara Bush's family inviting the public to pay respects to the former First Lady today in Houston. The wife of President George H.W. Bush and mother of President George W. Bush died Tuesday at the age of 92. Fresno State President Joseph Castro in California calling for support for the institution after some controversial tweets from a professor about the former First Lady Barbara Bush.
A single set of tweets does not define the success of our university. We're bigger and stronger and more dynamic than ever. And I ask the community to continue their support for our university, and our best days are certainly ahead.
Shortly after the death of the former First Lady, the professor at Fresno State tweeted out that she was an amazing racist who, along with her husband, raised a war criminal. Police are looking for the driver involved in a deadly hit and run on Chicago's north side. The driver took off after the incident. Police say a woman was taken to a nearby hospital where she later died. A federal appeals court is siding with Mayor Rahm Emanuel in his feud with the Trump administration over sanctuary cities. Mayor claiming victory yesterday after the 7th Circuit upheld an injunction banning AG Jeff Sessions from withholding grant money from cities who do not cooperate with immigration authorities. You have to go back 11 years to find the last time Illinois' unemployment rate hit 4.6%. The state's Department of Employment Security yesterday releasing its latest report. Illinois unemployment is still higher than the national rate of 4.1%. Cubs jump out early and beat the Cardinals at Wrigley 8-5. After an off day, the White Sox back at it tonight, hosting the World Series champion Astros in the first of a 3-game set, while the Cubs embark on a 5-game road trip that starts in Colorado. The news, a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on huge selections of ink, paper, and the latest printers. Now at Staples, get 50% off HP OfficeJet Pro 6900 series this week only at Staples, your total printing solution. While supplies last, valid on SKU 2256781, ends 421. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges & Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are two lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud. Luke the liberal. The Swamp Brothers. wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
It is 7:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Like the inbound Vision Ford is jammed 115th Michigan Avenue after a crash. 50 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Then Ryan is 36 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 22. Kennedy, 50 minutes, from here to downtown, outbound 31. Eisenhower, an hour and 5 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 33 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Northbound Tri-State delays from 95th to LaGrange Road, from the Stevenson to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Traffic is a service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only, N623. Exclusions apply. Staples. Traffic answers when you need them most. Alamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Sunny skies. 58 today, patchy clouds, and 36 overnight. Right now, we have 35 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by the Townstone Financial Show, Saturday afternoons at 1. Nobody values your mortgage business like Townstone. Listen and call for the best advice.
Coming up next, it's me, Mike Gallagher, right after Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. After this Comey variety show media tour, I need a media tour that I can actually enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think I found one. Job Creators Network, they are launching a nationwide bus tour, part of their Tax Cuts Work campaign in promotion of the tax cuts President Trump signed into law last year, and that Democrats are vowing to repeal were they to take control of Congress in November. This Job Creators Network, nonpartisan organization, I should say, founded by entrepreneurs like Home Depot co-founder Bernie Marcus, and very entrepreneurial-oriented, very growth-oriented in terms of what they're advocating. And for more on this topic and this tour, we're pleased to be joined by Elaine Parker, who is the Job Creators Network Foundation president. Elaine, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. You got to pull her up. I don't see it. Do we have Elaine?
Where'd she go?
Hey, thanks so much. Thanks so much for having me this morning.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you, Elaine. So the impetus for the nationwide bus tour in support of the tax cuts this spring.
Well, we are launching this morning, actually, in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we have a nationwide bus tour. The name of the campaign is Tax Cuts Work. Your listeners can go to taxcutswork.com and see if we're coming to a city near them. But we want to demonstrate to people that tax cuts do work. They help everyone. The fact is, more than 5 million people have received raises and bonuses. But make no mistake, every American is getting more money in their paychecks, and that's the reason we continue to get more and more popular.
So how much, say, a family of 4, annual income, $80,000 a year, how much would somebody, I don't know, you don't mean to give you a math quiz on a Friday, but how much would that family save?
Well, that's an interesting question because a family making about $50,000 a year is saving about $1,200 a year. That's like a whole year's worth of cell phone bills, even an extra mortgage payment for middle-class families. You know, and these are not, these are real.
We're having some technical difficulties with the connection there. Can we see if we can get Elaine on a better line so that we can hear what she has to say about that bus tour? We're going to effort to get Elaine Parker from Job Creators Network Foundation back on the line, and we'll be back with that after this.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The sun is back for a second day, and everyone's happy because it's warmer out. You started out with some frost this morning. It was cold, but things are slowly getting warmer. We're going to have a high today of 58 degrees. Tonight, patchy clouds, lows back into the 30s. And then your weekend looks good. Very hopeful. We're going to have partly sunny skies tomorrow, a high of 54. And on Sunday, we're going to have clouds and sun, a high near 57 degrees. And next week, Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be in the 60s here. So congratulations. I think the snow is finally behind us. Now let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with the big boss. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Good Friday morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Northbound Tri-State Tollway at slow 95th to LaGrange Road from the Stevenson to 47th. Pretty big jam then from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. The Adams Tollway's fine. Eastbound Reagan Tollway, delays are from 31 to Mill and 22nd to the Tri-State. Northbound Veterans Memorial from 75th much of the way to St. Charles. Edens, 20 minutes Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 26. Kennedy, now 50 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 28 from Montrose, 27 on the Express. Outbound 31 minutes to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, an hour and 4 minutes, 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 38 minutes to 390. The Stevenson is an hour and 2 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 36 minutes. Ryan, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, ID to the merge. Bishop Ford, 50 after a crash near Michigan Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. If you get the feeling your deposits don't matter to your bank, then maybe you're not with the right bank. At Signature Bank, your deposits matter to us as much as your business loans. Signature provides unmatched banking expertise, custom financial solutions, and the industry's best technology to closely held Chicagoland businesses. Whether your business is looking for a deposit relationship or needs a ready source for financing, Signature Bank is the right bank for you. Call us today to see how Signature Bank can help your business grow and thrive.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, Dan and Amy, technical difficulties, but I think we've got Elaine Parker from the Job Creators Network Foundation back on the line, the website taxcutswork.com. Elaine, are you with us?
I am. Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Oh.
Thank you.
Take two.
So again, tell us about this bus tour that you're launching in support of the tax cuts and in opposition to any efforts to repeal them.
We are launching the Tax Cuts Work campaign this morning, actually, in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And the purpose of the tour is to educate people on how the tax cuts are working. When this bill was first coming out last year, the Congress was talking about individual and corporate tax cuts. And what we were pushing for was not to leave out the 30 million small businesses and the 60 million employees that they employ. And so we pushed really hard to persuade Congress to expand the law and include the Main Street businesses that are out there.
So what is the essence of your tour? What's the premise? You drive into what towns do you go to, and how do you choose those towns?
We are visiting nearly 30 states. We have 50 stops, and we will be thanking members of Congress in those districts for the tax cuts, and we'll be also urging the Democrats to reconsider their promise to repeal tax cuts, because the reality is that small business and middle class should not be a partisan issue.
Yeah, that's coming to Chicago, Geneva, April 29th at Fun International on April 29th at 2 p.m. That's when the tour stops in the Chicagoland area. The impact so far, right after the tax cuts were signed and in the early part of this year, there was a lot of talk about bonuses that were being given by big companies. There's talk, even some recently, like with Kroger, about reinvestments being made by businesses to grow their businesses, to bring on more people, to expand their operations. But it's sort of dissipated a bit, and I just wonder if you can update us a little bit, or you will be updating as part of this tour, about the kind of the rolling impact reduced tax burdens is having on economic growth and entrepreneurship.
Sure. As you mentioned, we have heard a lot of information in the news. More than 5 million people have received raises and bonuses, but every American's getting more money back in their paycheck. And we do want to educate people that the withholding tables have changed, that they are keeping more of their hard-earned money. But there's a lot of people out there who really don't know. The reality is there's about 77 million people out there who are hourly paid employees, and their paychecks change every single week based on their hours, if it's 38 hours or 42 hours. And so they don't really know. And we're going to take time in this tour to educate people that these tax cuts are working. We are hearing from our members that they are, our small business members, that they are raising wages, they're paying bonuses, they're hiring more employees, and they're making capital investments in their companies. And that means more jobs for people, and that helps middle class.
Yeah, and speaking of those bonuses, how many companies have doled out bonuses?
The last report I saw was right around 400. So it's an incredible amount, and that's just what you see in the news. The big companies that put out press releases on it. But there's a lot of small companies out there doing the same thing. We have a small business owner who's a member in Florida. He actually makes cookies, cookie maker. He gave all of his employees anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000 a year in a raise. So that's not a one-time payout. That's a consistent raise, forever. So we're hearing a lot of that.
And part of the discussion, I know that you're focused on the tax cuts because that's what Democrats would be focused on repealing were they to gain power in Congress. But as part of the discussion, the regulatory environment as well, it seems like we've talked about it, but it doesn't get the attention that it deserves in terms of how it changes the landscape of doing business, the deregulation efforts made by the Trump administration in his first year.
That is the most untold story out there. When the president was running for office, he pledged to repeal 2 regulations for every 1 new one. And the reality is he has repealed 22 for every new regulation.
Yeah.
And regulations, for the people who don't know, is a huge cost and burden on small businesses because they don't have floors full of lawyers and accountants to help them figure out how to navigate those regulations. So it's a huge cost on them, and it affects jobs, and it affects how they expand their business.
Earlier this spring, maybe back early March, there was some talk, even offhanded talk by the president about tax cuts phase 2.
Oh, yeah.
What about that as part of the discussion about not only should we keep the tax cuts that were signed into law in December, we should be talking about what phase 2 looks like?
We are 100% behind that. We love that the bill got passed last December. We love that small business was included in it. We call it the third class by allowing small business to be included and get the tax deduction. But we think that there could be improvements made to the bill. Nothing is perfect. We just didn't want to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And there are three things that we'd like to see. We'd like to see the threshold increased on small business, the small business deduction. We'd like to see them eliminate the exclusion of service industries. We'd like to see them increase the deduction and overall make the tax cuts permanent for small business and middle class.
She is Elaine Parker, Job Creators Network Foundation president. Tax Cuts Work nationwide bus tour starts today in Virginia, comes to Chicago, Geneva specifically, Fauna International in Geneva specifically, 2 p.m. on April 29th to meet job creators as well as the organizers of this bus tour and this movement to reduce burdens on small business owner entrepreneurs. Elaine, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it and for the patients that I have that are taking it. And it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. And the thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
I'm Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Game show idea. Comey, Corey, or Christian. I'm going to read a series of passages, and you tell me which was said or written by former FBI Director Jim Comey, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, or 50 Shades of Grey protagonist Christian Grey. Let's begin. I want you to know that nothing has happened in the last year to change my view. Boy, those were the words I needed to hear. I know. And the East Coast loves you, and by the East Coast, I mean me. Do you think gay sex is a perversion? We lie there, panting together, waiting for our breathing to slow. He gently strokes my hair. Boy, I survived. That wasn't so bad. He was not going to get a hug without being a whole lot stronger than he looked. He wasn't. He holds out his hand, and in his palm are two shiny silver balls linked with a thick black thread. As he extended his hand, I made a mental note to check its size. It was smaller than mine, but did not seem unusually so. Look out, E.L. James. Jim Comey and Cory Booker are coming for you.
Hi, I'm Jim Van Ham with Strategic Financial Group. With the new tax law, charitable gifting will be more complicated than ever before. We're your experts in charitable gifting, and we can help you stretch your donations to worthy causes like Giant Steps. Now, with more, here's my friend Dr. Sylvia Smith.
Thanks, Jim. Giant Steps takes pride in providing a holistic and innovative approach to programming for individuals with autism. As students turn 22, government support stops and the options for programs become limited. This is why our Canopy Adult Day program needs your support to continue our mission of preparing adults with autism for a fulfilled and productive life. To donate, visit mygiantsteps.org. Again, that's mygiantsteps.org.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, for creating such a nurturing environment for young adults with autism. To find out how to stretch your contributions, please go to stgfin.com. That's stgfin.com.
Ever hire a plumber at an odd time for an emergency? The hourly rate could send you into cardiac arrest. It'd be nice to have someone on call 24/7 for those once every few year emergencies, but probably not necessary. Now your business is IT? That's a completely different story. The potential for problems if your IT system isn't properly maintained could be more than those once every few year plumbing backups. For peace of mind, turn to Turnkey IT. Their monthly support contracts will keep your business's computer systems online and running well. No more waiting for an hourly IT tech to get back to you and charging you an enormous after-hours rate. The certified pros at Turnkey will keep your business's computer system online with unlimited on-site and remote support. And for a limited time, you can save up to $500 a month on a support contract, plus unlimited cloud backup at no cost. Get the secure feeling your business backbone is supported by Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Building owners and managers. When it comes to maintaining the value of your commercial, industrial, or institutional building, there will be roof repairs or replacements for you to deal with. When you're looking for a good roofing contractor, search the ChicagoRoofing.org website for Chicagoland's best roofing contractors for repairs, replacements, or new construction. And you can check out their innovative roofing work also. All contractors at ChicagoRoofing.org proudly employ members of Roofers Union Local 11 who have undergone 5 years of rigorous training at the country's leading school for roofing, the Chicagoland Roofers Joint Apprenticeship Training Center. ChicagoRoofing.org contractors are at the top of their game and provide Chicagoland's best value for the best roofs all year long. Building owners and managers, you will have roof repairs or replacements to deal with. It's inevitable. Go to ChicagoRoofing.org. That's ChicagoRoofing.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
So last night, Amy, I moderated a little discussion.
Oh, that's right. How was it with Newt and Howard Dean? Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Judson University, their annual World Leaders Forum. Judson University, it was a stellar event. It's great, as it is every year. They do a great job. It's a great small liberal arts college, and it was fun to be a part of it. One Jeff Reisman was in attendance. One Mike Sakoff was in attendance, flying the AM 560 flag. Well, they were.
Well, yeah, they should be. That's good.
AM, yeah. So we were part of that as well. Partnering
did
with
you
Judson
learn
University.
anything from Howard Dean or Newt Gingrich, or were they anything big happen?
No, but in
you
my
guys do your song and dance number at the end, with the jazz hands.
In my mind,
kickball change.
I didn't say it out loud, but in my mind, my whole effort of moderating was to get Newt Gingrich to say lunar colony.
Uh-huh.
And I got him to do it. Just
You did?
barely. The second to last question, I knew it was set up for him to say lunar colony.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Andrew McCarthy will be here. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Check in with Mike Scott.
A federal appeals court sides with Rahm Emanuel. Sam McCann announces a third-party bid for governor. The Cubs jump out on the Cardinals early for a Northsiders win. Sunny and 58 today. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
It's a third-rate book that should never have been written. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump tweeted about James Comey, again saying the former FBI director leaks and lies, as the memos Comey wrote about their meetings before he was fired are sent to Congress and made public. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Among the disclosures in the memos is a meeting in which President Trump confronted Comey about the contents of a dossier describing Mr. Trump's involvement with prostitutes during a 2013 visit in Moscow. Recounting the conversation, Comey wrote, "The president said that the hookers thing is nonsense, but that Russian President Vladimir Putin had told him, 'We have some of the most beautiful hookers in the world.'" At that same meeting in February of last year, Comey recounted having seriously angered President Trump when he challenged the president's comments that Russia and America were similar in that both harbored killers. Dave?
John, Democratic House Leader Nancy Pelosi tweeted a special counsel and the Russia probe needs to be protected, saying the president attempted to intimidate, circumvent the law, and undermine investigations. We've learned after the FBI raided President Trump's personal lawyer last week, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein told the president he's not the focus of that investigation. It's all about Michael Cohen. A first for North and South Korea. A telephone hotline's been set up.
The South Korean president's office saying the line has been tested and the connection was great.
역사적인 남북 정상 간 직통 전화 연결이
Senior official Yoon Kun-young saying the call quality was very good. It was like calling our next-door neighbor. The first call between the leaders is expected in the coming days, ahead of a rare summit at the end of next week.
That's Fox's Simon Owen. In an hour across the country, high school students will walk out of class, just like last month, to protest gun violence 19 years to the day after the Columbine massacre in Colorado.
Enough is enough!
Those are teachers supporting students in Parkland, Florida, where 17 people were murdered in school in February. Fox News, fair and balanced.
41 degrees, mostly sunny skies. It is 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Police are on the hunt for a driver this morning in Chicago involved in a deadly hit and run on the north side. Police say it was a Jeep, an SUV, that ran into a woman last night in the 8300 block of North Halsted. The driver then took off after the incident. A federal appeals court sides with Mayor Rahm Emanuel in his feud with the Trump administration over sanctuary cities.
There's clarity in this opinion to the position that it's clear that we as a city will stand our ground when it comes to immigrants.
The decision comes after Emanuel sued Sessions last summer. Mayor claimed victory after the 7th Circuit upheld an injunction banning the AG from withholding grant money from cities who do not cooperate with federal immigration authorities. Cook County Circuit Court Clerk Dorothy Brown says, "Pay no mind to the federal investigation. I'm running for mayor." She plans to officially announce her campaign on Sunday. Brown previously ran for mayor in 2007. She lost in a landslide to then Mayor Richard M. Daley. Cubs jump out to a 6-1 lead. Hold on for an 8-5 victory over the Cardinals at Wrigley Field. Cubs now embark on a 5-game road trip to Colorado and Cleveland. After an off day, the White Sox are back home tonight hosting the world champion Astros. The news is a service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only ends 6/23. Exclusions apply at Staples. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, General Electric is reporting better than expected earnings. Though it lost money in the quarter, it was not as weak as expected. There are bright spots in its business. It made more money from its healthcare unit. There are now dozens of people who've been sickened by eating romaine lettuce, so many that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is now saying if you have chopped romaine lettuce that's packaged, even if it's mixed in a salad, throw it away. The E. coli found in the lettuce generally causes intestinal flu symptoms. Most people recover in a week, but in a worst-case scenario, it could lead to kidney failure. Mattel has its 4th new CEO in as many years. The new chief executive is Ynon Kreiss, a former studio executive. The Dow closed down 83 yesterday. The Nasdaq dropped 57. The S&P lost 15. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains who is delivering your news.
Jake Tapper used to be the press secretary for a Democrat. Chuck Todd also worked for a Democrat, congressional Democrat. There he is.
Meet the press. News anchor.
There he is, Jake Tapper, CNN.
The lead. News anchor.
There is George Stephanopoulos, former top advisor to Bill Clinton.
Chief news anchor, ABC News.
It is a joke.
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Looking to refinance your home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Sally's heard hundreds of Team Hochberg's ads, so naturally she called the nation's largest online lender, obsessed with their Rocket, because she saw their ad pumping gas. Bad move. The Rocket-loving lender quoted Sally a rate higher than us, and closing costs $6,000 more than Team Hochberg's. We explained the exorbitant closing costs and refinanced Sally into a lower rate and credited all of her closing costs. Team Hochberg doesn't have a Rocket, but we have lower rates and substantially lower closing costs than the nation's largest online Rocket-loving lender. You could call the nation's largest online lender who spends millions promoting their Rocket by charging excessive closing costs, or you could call Team Hochberg at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees.
Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
It is 8:07, and let's get an update on the roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Kennedy inbound. The jam starts at Austin. It is an hour and 5 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 44 minutes from Montrose, 38 in the Express. Outbound 12 minutes to Montrose, 32 to the airport. Edens is 19 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 26. Inbound Eisenhower. An hour and 4 minutes, 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 38, 390. Stevenson, an hour and 14 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. They're flying 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, 80 to the merge. Bishopford, 50 for a crash near Michigan. Tri-state delays are northbound from the 83rd Street toll to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. It's from Reagan Tollway slow, 31 to Mill. Westbound heavy approaching York with roadwork. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slope out into the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte at AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
A mostly sunny day for today with a high 57. Then tonight, patchy clouds will develop later on, a low of 37. Intervals of clouds and sun throughout the day tomorrow with a high of 54. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
41 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is powered by CharlesEquipment.com, keeping the lights on through summer storms.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, top of the morning, and so much to talk about on the legal front with the president, his former, current personal attorney, Michael Cohen, Comey, McCabe, et cetera, Jim Comey doing his Opie Taylor routine, taking it to Jake Tapper or CNN yesterday. Although, you know, I think it's a little unfair actually to Opie for me to make that comparison.
Yeah.
Because Opie was genuinely naive. Jim Comey is disingenuously naive. And Tapper tried to corner him on the issue of his former deputy director, Andy McCabe, per the Inspector General's report. Per yesterday, the Inspector General's report being referred to U.S. Attorney for consideration of criminal prosecution. And this is how that exchange went.
You express a lot of horror in the book when public officials or even celebrities lie to investigators, whether David Petraeus or Scooter Libby,
Martha
Stewart.
Yeah.
So I would assume that you would be upset at Andrew McCabe. I haven't really heard you criticize him the same way you've criticized those others.
Well, I hope I didn't criticize them personally. I think it's very important.
No, the act, though.
Oh, sure. The act is one I take very seriously, and so does the Department of Justice. What's going on so far has been the accountability mechanisms of the department working, because it's a department that's committed to the truth. And so it's working. I don't know whether there's a criminal referral, what will happen, but that's part of accountability and examination of what the consequences should be if there was material lying.
But how do you feel about your former deputy, according to the Inspector General, lying to you, lying to investigators for a leak that the Inspector General said was only motivated to preserve his own reputation, having nothing to do with the FBI or the public's right to know?
They're conflicted. I like him very much as a person, but sometimes even good people do things they shouldn't do. I've read the report. I'm not the judge in the case. I'm not the discipline decision maker in the case. I think it is accountability mechanisms working, and they should work, because it's not acceptable in the FBI or the Justice Department for people to lack candor. It's something we take really seriously.
So he gives a process answer to a values question while doing a tour and a book ostensibly all about values. Guy is so smarmy and sanctimonious and disingenuous. I know our next guest has some respect for him and worked with him and knows him, so I hope he's not too mad at me, but I just can't tolerate this guy anymore.
Well, it's just, there's a fatigue factor, and also to my point of contention with him is that he said there's a possibility of collusion because of two things. One, because President Trump wouldn't bash Putin in private or in public, and number two, that the president was constantly bringing it up about where the investigation stands.
How about the sanctions? Does that cut against your
yeah,
intuitive collusion argument? I mean, it's just he in that exchange with Tapper, after he agrees about how he's been critical of people who have lied, who have lacked candor, he still will not talk about Andy McCabe, his deputy director, who he called a true pro, termed a true pro to the President Trump, according to the newly released Comey memos. Turned out not to be so much of a true pro, was he, director? And this is why Jonathan Turley had this to say. Jonathan Turley, George Washington, law professor, on with Martha McCallum yesterday.
FBI directors have valued their circumspection. You know, they need to have presidents trust them. And Comey has really destroyed that. And it's not just the book. It's not just the tenor, but the timing. You know, the fact that he rushed this book out is inexcusable. He was the head of this investigation and is now one of the cooperating witnesses. Nobody would suggest that this book is benefiting the investigation. To the contrary, he's undermining his role as a witness. And so the question is, why is he doing it? And the answer is rather obvious. He's going to make a lot of money, but in the process, he's going to do untold harm to the institution he once headed.
For more on this and many other associated topics, we're pleased to be joined again by Andy McCarthy, former Chief Assistant U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, and the Southern District of New York is very much in the news, and contributing editor at National Review, nationalreview.com. Andy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So how have you? How do you think Comey has held up under questioning this week?
Well, I think, you know, what you just pointed out about, and what Jake Tapper pointed out about the difference between how he appraises people that he really doesn't know very well, or maybe not know at all, versus how he speaks about and how he resists connecting the obvious dots on McCabe. I mean, you know, look, if you read the report, he says he's read the report. I've read the Inspector General's report. I'm writing about it a little bit for the column at National Review over the weekend. McCabe, the evidence that McCabe lied his head off is very powerful, and it's actually, for a prosecutor, it's a very attractive false statements case. It's rare that you get a guy who has the chutzpah that McCabe has, who will leak something himself or arrange to have something leaked to the Wall Street Journal, and then after it's leaked, call up the heads of the FBI in Washington and New York and ream them out for the leak. As if he didn't have anything
it's
to do with
unbelievable.
it. So,
But he could go to jail for this.
Well, he should.
Yeah, look, false statements cases, you can, you know, every false statement, he made some under oath, he made some not under oath, but every one is a potential 5-year felony. So, I mean, usually you don't stack them like that, but yeah, he's got a serious problem. And as I say, it's an attractive case. You know, you're always looking as a prosecutor for the kind of thing that'll really get a jury angry at the defendant, and that kind of thing is apt to get people pretty angry. But all that said, why am I able to speak this way between outrage and mockery at McCabe? Mainly because I don't know him. You know, I mean, it's very easy for me as an old prosecutor to be clinical with respect to a guy who I don't know. So I just read a report and I see the facts and I say, all right, this guy looks guilty as sin to me. And now you want to ask me about Comey, who I know for 30 years.
Right.
And
right.
It's not easy for me to sit here and say, look, I think he's very selective in which facts he chooses to emphasize under the circumstances. He's a different kind of breed than McCabe. I would point out to people that in this report that we're talking about, the Inspector General's report, basically it covers, on this particular instance where there's a divergence between Comey and McCabe, the Inspector General pretty much covers Comey in glory. Comey gave a very different description of what happened than McCabe did, and the Inspector General's report shows that Comey's version of events is completely corroborated. But what I would say about, comparing the two of them and understanding that I don't know McCabe and I know Comey very well, I think the thing with Jim is he does what effective lawyers do when they're trying to rationalize things that can't be rationalized, and that is they stress the facts that support their position and either omit or soft pedal the facts that make it a hard decision in the first place. So if you listen to him talk about the Hillary investigation, he'll give you a very compelling, minute and a half on all the facts that cut in her direction. And then he'll say, so therefore, no reasonable prosecutor could possibly think about charging this case. And what he'll leave out is everything else.
All the basis to charge her, right, yeah.
Right, but you'll never be able to say he lied. Because everything he says is true. It's just not complete. So, I think it's reasonable to criticize people who can't be full-throatedly clinical and definitive when they're talking about people they know, but I also think it's a very human thing.
So do you think did you learn anything from reading these memos, the Comey 15-page memos? I know parts were redacted, but was there anything shocking or new or nothing that you've not known before?
Amy, what really bothered me reading the memos is how political, and this is particularly for someone who is adamantly apolitical in the way that he presents himself in Jim Comey. But what really bothers me is how political the investigation of President Trump is. Mm. And, sometimes you miss that because we've been swimming in this narrative now for a year and a half, right? So you almost like never call time out and take a step back and say, look, how did we get here? But I think I have no problem at all with the idea that the president is not above the law and the president should be subject to investigation if he has committed a serious crime. But I also think, and this I think I find fault with law enforcement people, of which I proudly was one for almost a quarter century. And that is sometimes law enforcement people think that their jobs and their little investigations are the most important thing on planet Earth. And the fact of the matter is, in this government, prosecution is only a small component of what the government does. And the president's job is the most important one in the country, and it's much more important than any one case or any one prosecutor or set of investigators. And I think that if you're going to investigate the president, which has the effect of paralyzing the government and making it very difficult for him to recruit quality people into the government, which as Americans we should all want, then you ought to have something very serious that you think the president did, and you ought to have very strong evidence that he's involved in a crime. And if you don't have that, the president ought to be left alone to govern because it's a hard enough job. And I don't think they've ever had it. I think that this whole from the start has been political. I think Mrs. Clinton lost. They didn't want to come to terms with the fact that the reason they lost the election is because they nominated a galactically flawed candidate, and instead they needed something else to rationalize. So they decided, gee, this Russian thing, let's run with that. And it's a complete concoction, and yet it has paralyzed the administration for a year and a half because the president governs under a cloud.
Well, I've got some good news for you. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein allegedly told President Trump he's not a target of any part of Special Counsel Mueller's investigation or the probe into his longtime lawyer, Michael Cohen. So, which is just, I don't. He's not a target. Is this one of these kind of, he's not a target, but he is a subject, and that's a distinction without a substantive difference? I mean, if this report is true, I don't believe it's true.
Well, I believe the report is true, but your essential point is right. It's you should never go up in a balloon because you've been told you're not a target. I mean, look, it's not insignificant. It's good because there's three terms of art that are applicable to investigations: target, subject, and witness. Right? A target is somebody the grand jury is virtually certain to charge. A witness is somebody who's not suspected of anything but has relevant information. It's like the victim in a robbery, right? Everybody else in the middle is a subject, and a subject is somebody whose conduct is being evaluated by the grand jury and who could be charged or could not be charged. And that depends on how the investigation goes. So a person who's a subject can become a target in a heartbeat,
right,
depending on how the investigation develops.
But ultimately, I was
just going to say, what I'd be more hopeful about from Trump's perspective is there's no indication that the two things that Mueller is mainly investigating, collusion and obstruction. Collusion is not a crime. They have to show conspiracy to commit an actual federal offense. They don't have that, and it's clear they don't have it. And as far as obstruction is concerned, as a matter of law, I don't think a president can be charged with obstruction for doing legal acts that are within his constitutional purview to do. So, if you pardon someone, that affects an investigation more than anything could affect an investigation, but it's entirely legal and legitimate for a president to do. And you can criticize him politically for issuing a pardon. A lot of people, for example, criticized the president for the Arpaio pardon, right?
Yeah.
But nobody questions the legitimacy of it. You can't prosecute the president for obstruction of justice for pardoning someone. And a president is allowed to affect investigations. You're not allowed to do illegal things to affect an investigation. You can't bribe witnesses or suborn perjury. We know that from the Watergate precedent and the Clinton precedent. But you can't prosecute a president for obstruction of justice over doing legal things like weighing in on whether somebody should be prosecuted or not, or firing the FBI director. You can criticize those things politically, but legally he's got every right to do those things.
But your essential, and you've been writing about this longer than anybody, your essential point hasn't changed, which is that the Mueller investigation was always an impeachment investigation, and it remains an impeachment investigation despite this this news report that's being oversold as somehow exonerating Trump.
Yeah, well, don't forget, Dan, with impeachment, as I've said, I wrote a book about this called Faithless Execution in 2014. Impeachment is a political remedy, not a legal one.
Right.
Which means, unlike me when I was a prosecutor indicting and prosecuting people in federal court for statutory crimes, Congress doesn't have to have a statutory crime to find a high crime and misdemeanor. So everything I just said about what you can do to a president in terms of obstruction of justice, what I was talking about was courtroom guilt. Whether, for example, firing the FBI director in the middle of an investigation, even though you wouldn't be able to convict someone or a president in court for that, if Congress decides that's a high crime and misdemeanor, there's no one can stop Congress from making that decision. And whether you can remove a president or not over it is a raw political calculation based mainly on, can you get a majority of the House to file that kind of an article of impeachment, and can you get 2/3 of the Senate to remove the president over it? They don't get, you don't get to go to court and say, but there's insufficient evidence that there's a statutory crime here. That's not a defense in an impeachment case.
Right, but they're not likely to move unless there's something akin to criminal conduct that's exposed. I mean,
Right.
even Cory Booker has conceded that point. He's Andy McCarthy, former Chief Assistant U.S. Attorney, Southern District of New York, now contributing editor at National Review. Always read his stuff on all of these legal matters. He also had a good piece earlier this week about the Hannity revelation, which I'm sorry we don't have time to get into more detail, but you want to check out that piece as well. Andy McCarthy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey everyone, Ken here from the award-winning company Income Store. If you were lost and scared in a forest, would you rather have a guide map or a guide standing next to you? Both will lead you out of the forest, one's just a bit more expeditious. When it comes to making more money, have you ever felt lost? Does it drive you a little batty when you know there's people out there, teenagers even, that are adding a different revenue stream, even in different industries, each and every year of their lives? Don't you know deep down there has to be a path out of what we call the financial forest? You know it's there, you just haven't found it yet. For almost a decade now, Income Store has provided guide maps to the do-it-yourselfers, the folks that have considerably more time than money, but they've also been the trusted guide to those with more money than time. If you're ready to stop bouncing around this thing we call the financial forest and serious about adding a second, third, or even fourth revenue model to your home or business, then you have to check out the 5-timing 5,000 Income Store. That's incomestore.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
One of Benjamin Franklin's most famous quotes was, "They who give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty or safety." Current events show this to be as true as ever.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit automatedsys.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
AM 560, The Answer.
I am so excited. I'm a huge Prince fan, and what they did to Prince, they released photos yesterday of his body in front of his elevator at his Paisley Park home, and we didn't need to see that. I mean, you
Well,
know,
then
Elvis
stop
fans out
looking.
there, would you want to see Elvis
On the throne?
pass on the throne, reading the Bible? No one needs to see that.
It doesn't matter anyway. According to Governor Moonbeam, global warming is going to kill 3 billion people in the not-too-distant future. That's about 42% of the global population. So, you know, we got bigger things to worry about than
really?
Prince photos.
And we'll tell you really how he died. He wasn't a drug addict, folks. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
39 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Life returning to normal in Berlin this morning. For a live bomb from World War II forced thousands to evacuate the heart of the German capital. Police evacuating from apartment buildings, hospitals, office buildings, even the central train station was cleared out. Bomb disposal experts defused that bomb and were able to start returning by early afternoon today. 2 North Florida deputies are dead after a suspected ambush shooting at a restaurant. It happened Thursday at a restaurant in downtown Trenton, Florida. Investigators say the gunman walked up to the restaurant and shot Sergeant Noel Ramirez and Deputy Taylor Lindsay through the window. Both men died. The public being invited to pay their respects to the late Barbara Bush today in Houston. Meantime, a Louisiana-based outdoor advertising company is remembering Barbara Bush with a nationwide billboard campaign. The Lamar Advertising Company, headquartered in Baton Rouge, is honoring the memory of the former First Lady with an image of a single strand of pearls. The image now displayed on more than 600 digital billboards across the country. Well, there was an earthquake felt in Michigan last night and in Ontario, Canada, felt by many, like this man in Metro Detroit.
I was just walking and then the ground just started moving. It felt weird for a minute. I just thought it was a train going by.
Residents thought the tremor may have actually been caused by a meteor or a jet breaking the sound barrier. Police are looking for the driver involved in a deadly hit-and-run on Chicago's north side. The woman was hospitalized shortly afterwards, where she died. Federal appeals court is siding with Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel in his feud with the Trump administration over sanctuary cities. The mayor claiming victory yesterday after the 7th Circuit upheld an injunction banning Attorney General Jeff Sessions from withholding grant money from cities who do not cooperate with federal immigration authorities. And the next time you're walking in China, watch out, especially if you're thinking about jaywalking. Anyone who gets too close to roadways in China before the walk sign lights now will get sprayed with water. Officials say they hope the mini mist cannons will shame jaywalkers into following the law in China. In case getting soaked doesn't do the trick, there will also be a message played at the intersections at exactly the same time that says, "Please do not cross the street. Crossing is dangerous." Chicago sports. Cubs hold on for an 8-5 win over the Cardinals. White Sox back home tonight hosting the world champion Astros. The news, a service of Staples. Staples can help your business stand out with custom printed signs, banners, and brochures. Now at Staples, spend $50 or more on print and marketing services and get $5 off your next in-store purchase. Standout materials equals outstanding results. Offer in-store only and 623 exclusions apply. Staples. 8:35, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher loves the hypocrisy of the left.
This bastion of progressivism, Starbucks, where people who sit around for hours upon hours. You're going to tell me 2 black guys can't sit at a table without being bothered? And I love every bit of the consequences that pretentious, overpriced place is now having to pay.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Dennis Prager here. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants, get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Well, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants, and that's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants bring. Everyone is different. Don't settle for mass-produced implants. Did you know that there is a difference in quality of the actual implant itself? Some are made to last, and some aren't.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics 630-632-7400 or just remember implantsforme.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Have you met the Swamp Brothers? Congressman Todd Rokita and Congressman Luke Messer. You already know their stories. Todd Rokita and Luke Messer are two lawyers who never practiced and became career politicians. What makes them Swamp Brothers? It's their records in Washington. In Congress, Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted to fast-track Obama's bad trade deals which could have cost Indiana thousands of jobs. And Todd Rokita and Luke Messer voted for billions in new debt, $500 billion to be exact. But there's more, and it's even worse. Todd and Luke voted to fund abortion provider Planned Parenthood and Obama's executive amnesty. Todd's no conservative. He's a fraud. Luke's no conservative. He's a liberal. Todd the fraud. Luke the liberal. The Swamp Brothers. Wrong for you.
I'm Mike Braun, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mike Braun for Indiana.
8:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Like southbound 53, traffic remains a bit heavy. Palatine Road to Kirchhoff. Northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway, it's slow. 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Army Trail to 290. Northbound Tri-State delays. Archer to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eden's fine inbound. Outbound, heavy in pockets. Montrose to Old Orchard. No more than 5 minutes worth of delays. Kennedy, 57 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 44 from Montrose. 42 in the Express. Outbound 10 minutes to Montrose. 30 to the airport. Mount Eisenhower, an hour and 8 minutes, 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 37, 390. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 46 minutes. Make that 40 minutes outbound. The Ryan, 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford, 43 minutes, 8094 to the Ryan. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. It comes from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sunny and 58 today, patchy clouds and 36 overnight. Updated temperatures, now 43 at O'Hare and 43 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity. Right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we got to, get all our business taken care of here, tie up loose ends before we go out of town, Amy. So we're still taking your calls and texts as to who should play Tammy Jo Schultz in the movie Southwest Flight 1380. Again, the finalists are Denzel, Tom Hanks. Remember, Slim Pickens is unavailable.
Oh, the
Sully Sullenberger, and my personal choice, Robert Hayes.
Robert Hayes. They're not going to have a transgender. I mean, the person who's going to play her is obviously going to be Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin?
Or Sandra Bullock. Well, Tammy Jo, she's 56 years old. Lily Tomlin would be great. A little Botox done. And
Lily Tomlin is a bit north of 56 years old, but okay.
There's great makeup artists that could help her out.
All right, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, Neil in Elmwood Park. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, growing up in Elmwood Park, you understood that the worst scumbag in the world was a stool pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived my whole life that way until I moved to the North Shore and realized that really there's something below that, and that's that somebody can live their entire life as a stone-cold hypocrite. But James Comey is both. I mean, it's amazing that this guy can pull off both at the same time. But that wasn't my point why I was calling.
Nice twofer,
The previous guest you had on was telling us that the reason this is going on forever and ever is because they're embarrassed of the candidate that they put on. But it's so obvious that it's more sinister than that. It's Clinton was going to get in, and that entire group of folks was going to have a shower of cash put on them in billions of dollars, and they're going to get it from all the filthiest corners in the world. And they got caught because this guy got in, and they're going to get exposed. You're not going to fight this dirty because you're embarrassed. You're going to fight this dirty because you're getting caught red-handed.
Thanks for the call, Neil. Appreciate that. Good observations. Amy, I know you're distraught over the artist formerly known as Prince, who's formerly known to be living, and you wanted to emote on that topic.
Yeah, I was really upset last night when I watched Nightly News. He didn't die. He's not a drug addict, okay, first of all.
What is
so? Well, he had a doctor who was fined $30,000 because he prescribed Vicodin to him, but it was generic Vicodin that just happened to be laced with fentanyl. So this was a mistake. It was a deadly mistake. And they used a picture last night. They showed his body in front of the elevator in his home where he died. We don't need to see that. We can remember Prince as Prince was. I mean, can you imagine if your icon like Elvis Presley?
Oh no!
They showed a picture of him on the throne, or that's what
I
you call
want
it.
to remember. I want to remember Prince wearing pink chiffon and high heels. And why would you sully that with a picture of him in an elevator?
Well, here's the Carver County attorney.
In all likelihood, Prince had no idea he was taking a counterfeit pill that could kill him. We have no direct evidence that a specific person provided the fentanyl to Prince.
All right, so I got to interrupt this for a suggestion. Joe and Beverly. Hey, Joe.
Joe.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey.
Yeah, so when I first when the story broke and they had a picture of the pilot, the first thing that came to mind was, oh, they're definitely going to make a movie of this. And the first person that came to mind for me to play her, although I love your Robert Hayes suggestion.
Thank you.
Seriously, I thought that Laura Dern would be a great choice.
Oh, there! You know what? You win the prize. That is perfect. Yes.
It's not better than Robert Hayes.
Laura.
What? Name a Laura Dern. Name a movie or a role that Laura Dern's played that shows any aviation heroics.
She's in Big Little Lies.
No.
She flew down the stairs.
Jurassic Park. Not good enough. Nope.
She rode a dinosaur in Jurassic Park. No, she flew one of those thingies. Back to Prince.
Back to making fun of Prince.
I can recall another one, like, I think it was in 85, like when all that androgynous shit was going on. And what was wild was that the guy who looked the most like a bitch was getting all the women. Even I had the Jerry curl was coming out, and I had my shit slick to the side and all that. If you wearing baggy shit now and you acting hard, if you from LA, you motherfuckers wearing some strange shit. We in the club, we getting our groove on, shaking it up. And Prince came in. That's when Purple Rain came out, and Prince was the shit, you know what I'm saying? Prince had on it was like a Zorro type outfit. It had the ruffles that come down the front. He had the big perms fluffed out and all that. And mustache and everything like was drawn on his face. And it looked like something that a figure skater would wear. You know what I'm saying? And he was with his whole crew, and he had this other cat named Mickey Free. And Mickey Free was like the new cat in Shalimar. That when he joined
Shalimar.
I heard mad cats like, yo, Shalimar got a new girl in there, man. That bitch frying like a motherfucker. They was talking about Mickey Free. Okay? Mickey Free is not a girl, all right?
I want to remember Prince the way that Charlie Murphy remembers Prince.
They was kind of setting these fruity pics, man. You know what I'm saying?
Playing one-on-one
like you
with
be trying
Prince.
to check Prince, and then you got this cat standing behind you, and he's getting close to you, and his hands is out like this. You don't really want to be bent over in front of a cat like that. You know what I'm saying? Prince was incredible. Prince, you got a towel, man? It's kind of hot out here, man.
Why don't you purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? Good. In your face, Charlie Murphy. Good. Good hustle.
Prince is a good basketball player, by the way. But really, no,
okay.
honestly, just give me 9 seconds of your time. I agree with Prince's cousin.
And I just was pissed at the fact that my cousin died like that. And then he's projected as some drugged out, junkie, rich rock star. He was at the top of his game.
Yeah, he didn't mean to die. It was an accident.
Yeah, well,
and his doctor's been fined $30,000 and is on probation.
Yeah, well, don't be all farm it up and you wouldn't have such accidents.
Maybe eat something, too.
Mike, downtown, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Dan and Amy, Tammy Duckworth is the perfect pick.
Well, they're both heroic women.
Mike, thanks for the call.
And they both have served their country.
Good,
No,
good.
it's true.
Good.
They're both in the military.
Way to spin out of that one. Good. That was good.
By the way, she brought her baby to the Senate floor yesterday.
Did Mitch McConnell nurse it?
Yeah, for about an hour, and then he pumped afterwards to get the excess milk because he was lactating pretty hard yesterday.
I bet. A lot going on. He's all jacked up over that Comey legislation that Grassley's moving. Makes him lactate. Sean from Elmwood Park.
How about Steve Buscemi with a wig? I mean, she's a hell of a pilot, but she's pretty enough to be. Well, she could be Jan Schakowsky's daughter. Listen, I want to talk about that Illinois
Why the physical
Republican.
appearance? Why the physical
She's
appearance?
tall. She's statuesque. She's taller than you, Sean.
Yeah, that's all right. The inseam isn't what's going to impress you. Listen, here's the deal. I want to talk about the fraud conservative, because I am still disgusted that you're going to come on, you're going to call yourself the conservative party.
It's like an
You're gonna
hour and
promote-
45 minutes ago. What?
Hey,
I don't care. I can stay mad for a long time.
Next week, if you want to do like stream of consciousness nonsense, you do that next week with Bruce Wolf while we're in Mexico.
Well, then you get that Southern guy that should be selling chicken. You get him scheduled for Monday, because I'd like to debate him about how a conservative gets federally mandated minimum wage and pro-public sector union. Yeah, you're an Illinois conservative. The sad part is that's as close as we're going to get to a conservative in Illinois. So the reality is you come down, you move to Florida, you call me, we set you up.
All right, very good. Thanks for the call, Sean.
Sean, show prepping already.
Wind
and
that
Bruce
into
is already
a,
outside in the parking lot waiting to come in.
And Sean wound that into a promo for his real estate business nicely. Brad in the West Loop, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I've always wanted to follow Sean from Florida to calm things down.
Yes.
Back to Laura Dern.
Mm-hmm.
She was the pilot in the last Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi. She blew up that Star Cruiser.
I haven't seen The Last Jedi yet, so I don't recognize it.
Oh,
spoiled
spoiler
it.
alert.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Brad.
How does it
You
end,
ruined my
Brad?
weekend. And I appreciate that. All right, I still don't like it. I think I think you got to have Tom Hanks. I mean, he does all these roles. Maybe Denzel.
Back to Prince. I had the biggest crush on him.
You know who should play Prince in the movie about the artist formerly known as Prince?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. It's the Ace Buy One, Get One Free sale. Don't miss great Buy One, Get One Free deals throughout the store. So many BOGOs, we can't name them all. Start the season right with savings on quality products from Scott's, Roundup, Ortho, and more. There are so many BOGOs and so many ways to save. Hurry in. The Ace Buy One, Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating stores. Buy select item and get designated item free. See store for details.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I love MyPillow so much that I'm actually going to bring the Go Anywhere MyPillow with us to Mexico. And what you do, and I learned this from Michael Lindell, the owner and creator of MyPillow, is you put your Go Anywhere MyPillow on top of the hotel pillow, and it's just like you're at home. And you can have a MyPillow too, for the spring. Start fresh, start new. Throw out that old flat pillow that you have to take to the dry cleaners. With the MyPillow, you can wash it and dry it at home whenever you want. And yes, there's a 4-pack deal still available. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows, half off. So go to MyPillow.com, type Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code to MyPillows to go anywhere. MyPillows half off. Or you can call this number, 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I'm Mark Gastineau. I played in the NFL for 10 years. I was diagnosed with CTE, with dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. The fruits and vegetables that we take from Balance of Nature is the best thing that we could ever do. And I'm calling in now to order extra because of my wife has been taking mine because she sees a difference in me. It is a wonderful thing that Balance of Nature is doing. I hear the testimonies on the radio, but I'm a testimony for myself. And the fruits and vegetables, if I don't take them every single day, my day is not going to go the same. So God bless you, and thank you for what you've done for my wife and I.
When you call, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first month's order and ship it to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
I manage a construction site, and the other morning we had to send half of the crew home because of missing equipment. This nonsense is cutting into my time and budget.
Here's what you need to know. Alarm Detection Systems offers mobile security solutions that expand with your project. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300 to find out about our alarm and video protection. License number 127000143.
My daughter started school, and I find myself worrying if she is getting home safe while I'm still at work. I wish I could check up on her.
Alarm Detection Systems offers remote control of your security system from your phone. Get text or video alerts when someone's at your door. ADS is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6300. Alarm license number 127000143.
Hi, I'm Jim Vanham with Strategic Financial Group. With the new tax law, charitable gifting will be more complicated than ever before. We're your experts in charitable gifting, and we can help you stretch your donations to worthy causes like Giant Steps. Now, with more, here's my friend Dr. Sylvia Smith.
Thanks, Jim. Giant Steps takes pride in providing a holistic and innovative approach to programming for individuals with autism. As students turn 22, government support stops and the options for programs become limited. This is why our Canopy Adult Day program needs your support to continue our mission of preparing adults with autism for a fulfilled and productive life. To donate, visit mygiantsteps.org. Again, that's mygiantsteps.org.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, for creating such a nurturing environment for young adults with autism. To find out how to stretch your contributions, please go to stgfin.com. That's stgfin.com.
Hi, can I help you?
Yes, I have a snoring problem.
Can you describe it for me, please?
Well, it's about 5'11" with curly hair and a mustache.
Oh, I see.
Introducing Mute, sleep technology that opens the nose to increase airflow by an average of 38% so you and your partner can enjoy a good night's sleep. Mute. Breathe more, snore less, sleep better. Available now at Walgreens, CVS and GNC.
I'm Amy Errett, founder and CEO of Madison Reed, a company that's revolutionizing the way women color their hair, a company I named after my daughter. Madison Reed is the ultimate hair color hack. The quality of a salon, the convenience and affordability of at-home hair color, and an ammonia-free formula with ingredients you could feel good about. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first purchase. Use code RADIANTHAIR.
AmeriGas. Your business relies on the power of propane. It's a critical component to success, from powering your forklifts, temporary heating solutions at construction sites, to the patio heaters that warm customers at restaurants and bars. You need a safe, reliable, and trustworthy supplier of propane. You need AmeriGas. With AmeriGas, you get more than just a propane supplier. You get an expert and partner with safety being their #1 priority. Imagine never having to worry about running out of propane and having to call for an emergency delivery. It's available if you need it, but you won't with AmeriGas. AmeriGas monitors your usage and automatically schedules your propane deliveries hassle-free. AmeriGas, for almost 60 years, committed to providing reliable propane services to keep your business running. For safe propane delivery all over Chicagoland, any time of day, call 800-AmeriGas or go to AmeriGas.com. That's AmeriGas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Suggestions to play Tammy Jo Schultz in the movie still coming in. Katie Sackhoff, that's a good one. She was Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica. Also, that's a pretty good call. Actually, also Frances McDormand, I could see her playing.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to give her lifts, though.
Yeah, tall. She's not,
yeah, because Tammy Jo, she's my height.
She could use Mark Zuckerberg's booster seat from the congressional hearings.
Exactly. This Sunday night, we want to make sure you're listening to Beyond the Beltway with our very good friend Bruce Dumont. Heard right here on AM 560 The Answer at 11 p.m. His very special guest this week. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Drum roll.
All right. There it is.
Patty Blagojevich.
Not familiar with it.
Patty Blagojevich. It's a special one-on-one interview with the wife of former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. You won't want to miss it. That's Beyond the Beltway with Bruce Dumont, 11 p.m. this Sunday right here on AM 560.
That'll be good. That'll be good. Bruce is known, he's an institution in Chicago media and politics, and he's known that family for a long time. He knows the inner workings of the dynamics in the city, so that should be a very probing and interesting interview, actually.
And it'll be, her first on-air reaction to the Supreme Court not taking up his appeal.
This is an incredible story.
Is this a Cheeto story?
Totally unbelievable story. No, it's not about the burglar found naked in the tub eating Cheetos. No.
Where was that, by the way?
In Monroe, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
That's where,
That's where Cheetos...
Sort of the capital of that sort of thing in the country.
Okay. They cornered the market on that.
No, this incredible story. Scottie Pippen, he used to play for the Chicago Bulls, Amy.
I'm familiar with his work. Okay.
He had $50,000 worth of farming equipment stolen from him.
How does that happen? Farming equipment is not small, and it's like kind of obvious if you're driving a front loader or a backhoe down the street.
He and his brother live in Hamburg, Arkansas, where the two grew up. You'll recall he played his college ball at Central Arkansas.
Yes.
But so that's no big deal, right? Scottie Pippen's a farmer. That's not surprising. Scottie Pippen went back to Hamburg, Arkansas, rather than hang out in Chicago. That's not surprising. Here's the thing that's totally unbelievable. Shocking.
What?
According to the Arkansas, their Democrat Gazette, the Pippens are offering $2,500 for any tips or information about where their farming equipment may have gone. And anybody who knows anything about Scottie Pippen knows he would not be involved in anything involving tips.
He's offering a tip, you say?
You have had experience with Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. No, when I worked at Walter Payton's 34s, I served him once, and he gave me $1. Normally, someone in that category would tip 5 to 10. So.
What was the bill? How much was the bill?
Like 40-ish.
$1?
I got $1.
It's probably a commentary on your service. I'm gonna give Pippen a pass on that one.
Oh, okay. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks especially to the one and only Justin Kosick. You rock. And associate producer Quinn McCarthy, whose mother-in-law is in town this weekend. That's fun. And to Keith Conrad, who's always just a joy. He's our executive producer, don't you know?
Are you retiring?
No, it's an inside joke. Okay. Bruce, Wolf, and Sean will be here next week for us and as we head to Mexico. But now we head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Very latest on a school shooting in Ocala, Florida. Fox with the latest on that. WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.